some really bad gas things. Oh, are we live?
Ralphie.
Oh, shit.
Ralphie.
Hello, we're live. OMG.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Welcome. This is the return of Mix Talk.
Live.
Today, I will be your host, none other than DJ B. This is Riz. We're just going to go around really quick and introduce everybody, and we're going to introduce everyone much better in a second, of course. But, you know, we have Crazeepacman as our resident pack boy.
I am
Our resident
your
Crazy
favorite pack
pack
boy.
boy.
Need packing? Let me know.
Yeah. Of course, we have
Cheers.
AnnieTalksShow. Give it up for her. And none other than Johnnyfrickinrico. And of course, Rizaline and myself. I forgot who. Rizaline?
Yeah, I was going to say, come on now.
Rizaline and myself, we are the MixTalkLive crew. Welcome everybody in chat. What's up, Randerson? Music drummer, thanks for coming in at the top of the stream. Pieces, what's up?
Hi guys.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Mix Talk is a live stream podcast that we do. We chat about things that make us nostalgic, things that touch on our varied life experiences. What are some topics that we've had in the past?
Video games,
Sports.
Mixtapes, remember?
Mixtapes.
Oh yes, mixtapes.
Getting around.
Fashion.
Yeah,
Yes.
transportation.
That was a good
Retro
one.
fashion.
We had
Retro
like,
toys is one of my favorites.
yeah,
Toys.
that one was fun.
Fashion.
I like the holiday one.
Fashion.
The holiday one was a very
That was
special
great.
episode.
That was
That
great.
will always
Yeah.
go down.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've been doing Mix Talk for a while now.
Yeah.
Like
I
just
love it.
throwing out all these like topics makes me nostalgic for our nostalgic podcast. Anyway.
Good try.
Okay,
Segue,
well,
segue.
today
Good try.
today's topic is a very nostalgic one. It is, and what we do, y'all, usually is we have a short, brief chat before, a few days before, a week before, and we're like, what's something that we want to touch on? And we came up with this one, and it's called "Dear Younger Me." And for those that aren't familiar with the way we do things here at Mix Talk, we encourage everybody in chat to answer some of the questions that we're going to be talking about ourselves. We're always like hearing how you guys react and what your experiences are. So feel free to do so. All right. Dear Younger Me is about. Excuse me. Let me get some water really quick.
You're doing great.
Yeah. What is Dear Younger Me about?
So when we were planning this episode, the idea that we threw out is like, what would we want to say to our younger selves?
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, we kind of don't know what to expect with the questions. So you all in the chat are going to be surprised, just as surprised as we are. And also, for those in the chat, like you guys, we love to hear from you. So chime in. Any questions that you want that we can try to talk about too.
Sure. Yeah. Topic questions. It's a fluid thing. We love to just keep it very conversational and stuff. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to have everybody introduce themselves, and I have a surprise icebreaker question for everybody that no one knew.
I'm scared.
What is your social security number?
So as we go, we're going. We gotta go around. We're gonna have the all our panelists and everyone introduce themselves and then answer the icebreaker question. So we'll start. I guess it's appropriate to start with you,
Okay.
Rizaline. So
Hi.
you're going to plug yourself. You're going to introduce yourself and any streams or any socials that you have,
Okay.
and then you're going to answer this question.
Okay.
If Oh, hold on. I had it written down here. I thought I could do it from memory, but okay. In a movie or show based on you, who would be the actor playing as you, and what would be the genre of that
Dang it.
film or movie?
Ooh.
So then that means
Wow.
the rest of us have to take some time to think about that, but I have to think about that faster.
On the fly.
Dang. I don't know. Because I want
I can pick someone for you because I feel like I know the answer. I thought I knew the answer to your question already, and that's why
okay.
I was like, okay, I can ask Grizzly
I don't
first.
know. But hi, my name is RizalineB. Uh I don't I don't know why I'm here because I don't stream. Just kidding. But I like to be in the chat and talk to the people, and I guess I'm more of a casual content creator. And then my professional background is in marketing in higher education, and I love true crime shows. I am a moderator for a Facebook group of people who are fans of the movie Shrek. It has thousands of people.
True
Um,
story.
those are some things to know about me. Um, actor, I mean, I'd want like a Filipino person, but
Yeah,
I
of
don't know.
course.
There aren't very many Filipino actors,
True.
so
It
I
gets
don't,
tricky when you're Asian.
I, I don't know who would play me. Why? Who did you think of for
Well,
me?
I forgot. You're right. It should be a Filipino person.
Yeah, well, who
But
did you think
if
of
it
me in the
wasn't a
first
Filipino
place?
person, I thought we agreed that like America
Oh
Ferrera
yeah,
would
yeah,
have
yeah,
done
yeah,
been
yeah,
a good
yeah, yeah,
idea.
yeah. I like America. Okay, that was wow. Yeah, that's what I thought of. Good answer. Good answer. It's on the board.
Rosaline was a big fan of the show Ugly Betty,
I
starring
was.
America Ferrera. Yeah.
Do I want me to popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Okay,
ahead, please.
who on the
Popcorn.
panel looks most confident with their answer that knows already? Annie, I pick you.
Hello. Thank you, Riz. I appreciate that. Hello, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Annie Talks or AnnieTalksShow. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch and on I almost said Facebook. What? YouTube. Um, I started. I started on Twitch as a just chatting and then podcasting host. And then I discovered Twitch Sings like many of us did. So Twitch Sings was like my bread and butter for so long. Oh, for the year rather, for the year that we were in existence. And that's how I met all of these lovely people. So outside of that, my profession is well, my degrees are in communications and public relations. I don't do any of that right now. I did
Okay.
for 10 years and I got completely burnt out. So I changed professions. Also, I had changed geographical locations. So I'm no longer doing PR or com anymore. So I'm a supervisor right now for a logistics company. Let's see. In terms of who I would like to play me, hmm. Well, I would like, first of all, I'd like to say, hopefully one of my daughters, because,
Oh.
they know me so dang well, but I'm a little afraid because they may know me too well that they may over exaggerate me.
Uh,
So, uh, I don't know.
that would be
Outside of
pretty
that,
good.
yeah, right. Outside of that, I would probably say, God, I cannot remember her name, but the actress, the starring actress from Crazy Rich Asians, what's her name?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Constance Wu.
Constance Wu.
There you go. I
Oh,
maybe
That's a
her,
good
because
one.
then maybe she might give me a true portrayal. So we'll
That's a
see.
good
I was
one.
thinking Aquafina for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh no, Aquafina's too over the top for me. So I love her, but she might actually, she may do
Mm.
me well. So who knows? But thank
and
you.
what
Welcome.
and what genre of film would it be?
Drama, because that's probably what my life is. Drama? No, just kidding.
Some
Yeah,
days
drama.
Constance, some days Aquafina. You know.
Although, oh,
Mm.
right. Although,
Yeah.
hey, if I could change it up a little bit, maybe a musical. Hey,
Ooh, that's a good one.
right?
That would be great.
Yeah,
That would be very fitting for you, Annie, I think.
Your
totally.
movie
So,
would be a
yeah,
musical, actually. It
it
would
would
be.
be. It
It'd
would
be
have the
perfect.
highs and lows, right?
Hmm.
The protagonist, antagonist, and the conflict, and then who knows what the resolution is. But yeah, yeah. So for sure. So thank you for that question, DJ. I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh my god, what is it?
No worries.
So,
Who's next?
all right, I'm gonna tag Johnny.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mix Talk. Great to see everyone. My name is Johnnyfrickinrico. I'm a Southern California game streamer, content creator, computer technology person, and recently a collector and restorer of Japanese automobiles.
Nice.
I love all things retro. You guys all know that. I'm a huge horror film fan. So that's me. That's my channel. I have a YouTube. Definitely check it out. I got a bunch of cool stuff on there. Anyways, for the question, which actor would play me on a TV show or movie of my life? It would be John Cusack.
That's
Oh.
I would say John
Really?
Cusack.
that's a good one.
The movie would be a comedy in the comedy genre, and it would probably be based on. I've talked about this with my friends as well. My days working at Starbucks and all the crazy stuff, all true and crazy stuff we did back in the day, in my early 20s. So yeah, and I know John Cusack would do it justice, definitely.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I'd like to know those stories too, by the way. Just kidding. All right, Johnny, who are you gonna tag?
I am going to tag Pac-Man. We haven't got to Pac-Man, right?
Ah, nice. I was like, man, when am I gonna get picked here? I'm like, wait a minute, Riz, you didn't pick me. Okay, anyway, I was pretty confident with this. All right, guys.
You're doing great.
Hello, everyone. I am Crazeepacman. I am one of many variety streamers on Twitch. I hail from the SoCal. I enjoy playing games that are either retro, current, or just too many games to name. And other than that, on my spare time, I keep up with sports, mainly basketball, baseball, and I binge a lot of shows on different streaming services, whether it be Disney Plus or Prime Video. But low key, I am also a pro wrestling fanatic, and I enjoy watching MCU movies. So I'm really hyped up about Guardians coming up. So if you guys are wondering, just a little quick.
Me too.
Okay.
What's out now?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's gonna be
Next
out
weekend.
on Cinco de
Is it out
Mayo.
already?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Next weekend.
Next
Alright.
weekend.
So
on the 5th.
on the 5th. That's what Cinco de Mayo is. Anyway, so who would want to play me? Okay, so it was kind of between two people, two actors. I was leaning towards more. Now I think about it, I'm more towards David Schwimmer because
Okay.
I was thinking
Ross. What's up,
David-
Ross?
David Schwimmer or Matthew Perry. I was thinking like maybe a mix if you mash those two
Interesting.
together. But I'm like, no, what? David Schwimmer has a little more. Yeah, he's a little more dorky. So I am a kind of a dork. So I would go for David Schwimmer. David Schwimmer, please, if you're ever available, and they made a script for me about my life, be available, please. I would love for you to play me. Like it'll be
We're
awesome.
manifesting.
Please.
Yeah.
If you have time,
I'm
watch Twitch. Yeah. Have my people call your people, please. All right, thanks.
Good friend
All
of the podcast.
Have my people
Yeah.
call your
So
people.
what kind of genre would it be, Pac-Man?
right. It'll be I think it'll be a romantic comedy,
Nice.
Really?
or it could be a I don't know. It could be just a straight up comedy, or I think it'll be one of those franchise movies. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. We're talking big.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
big
a
plan
franchise
here.
movie. Yeah, like Phase 1, Phase 2. I'm telling you, it's my life. You have to have phases. You just can't have one movie. You can't have like a whole
And
2
then-
hours
and then
about my life.
David
That's-
Schwimmer plays all of them at like the
That's true.
same age.
At least,
So he's just
At-
like
at least
he's
my
just
middle
like at
age.
high school.
At least my middle ages, or my middle age, or my, my 50, 50 or 60-year-old. Yeah, yeah.
What would
Okay.
the
It's also
title
there.
be? What would the title be
Oh,
for the first
no.
chapter?
My first chapter would be Why Me. My second chapter would be Why Me,
Why
really?
me?
Wait, what?
The third
Second
chapter
one?
would
Why
be
me?
Why Not Me. So I don't know. It just has to go on, It's yeah,
Why?
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So
That's hilarious.
okay.
Great.
Yeah. Again, David, hit me up, man.
If you're
got some ideas, bro.
available, David.
Good friend of the podcast.
Yes, very good friend.
He's
Very
he's
good friend.
definitely watching.
Yes. Oh, please. That'd be awesome.
Hmm.
Okay. This is very hard to choose out of all these people.
I'm the only one left. So.
Okay, I have to go with DJB then. All right, go for it, bro.
For
Good choice.
sure.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Well,
Come
yeah.
aboard.
Thanks, Pac-Man. My name is DJB. For those that don't know me,
Hi.
I'm straight out of the streets of the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm a streamer, XR technician by day, as well as the production specialist behind the famous Fam Bam Valorant tournaments.
Woo.
Hey, look at listen to
Wow.
that.
Which Rizaline
buzz.
has to obligatorily say, "What's Fam Bam?"
I don't
in
know
chat.
what that is.
Anyway, I may be on hiatus from streaming, but believe me when I say I can't wait to get back into it. And that's going to happen soon. I'm a lifelong fan of Final Fantasy, Star Trek, pro wrestling, of course. And aside from this, you can catch me on the Mix Talk Wrestling Mid Card Wrestling Podcast, as well as the Hype, along with my good friend Maru Daizu, and of course, soon to return, Deep in the Mix. So keep an eye out for that. Follow me at twitch.tv/DJB_remix and Instagram, Twitter, all that good fun stuff. Okay,
Wow.
if I were to have a movie or a TV, you know what? I would want a limited series, not a movie. You know what I'm saying? I want a limited series. I don't want it condensed into 2 hours. There's too much. I'm like Pac-Man, but I don't know if it would be marketable enough for a franchise for me personally. I think it would just be more of like a limited series on like
Why
HBO Max or
me?
something.
Why not me?
Hey.
You know who I'd want? Well, growing up, I always said I'd want like somebody like James Vanderbeek to play me. That was, but you know what? I wouldn't want James Vanderbeek to get canceled for not accurately portraying my ethnicity. So I want the best friend from Spider-Man to play
What's his name?
Jacob Batolon or something like that.
Good.
Mm.
Yay.
Yeah. I want the best friend from Spider-Man.
I
He
like
could play
that.
me, and it would be a A24 film, or A24 series. It would be like kind of like a dark comedy, but also like very motivational, inspirational, a la Everything Everywhere All at Once, something like that kind of vibe.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
So, yeah.
good. Good choice. Everybody had really good choices, honestly.
I'm actually leaning towards sagas now I think about it.
Sagas.
Like Star
We're
Wars.
taking back our
Sagas?
answers.
You know, I mean, no, I'm adding on. So I mean,
Adding on.
I mean, never know. I mean, I gotta be flexible. So if it's what the genre would be, it'd be pretty flexible. It'd be every single one. The first movie could be like a animated movie, for all I know.
Yeah.
All kid friendly, and then it just goes dark, just like Harry Potter. It just goes dark later
Just
on.
goes dark.
You know what I mean? So
Oh no. They reel you in and then they reveal who they are.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, so what we have planned today is Pac-Man has some photos queued up. We all submitted some photos,
Oh.
and we're going to look at photos. We're talking about. Remember, the topic is Dear Younger Me. We're going to look at some photos that we've all submitted of our younger selves,
Oh boy.
and
We're-
we're just going to.
We're gonna talk to them.
Yeah, we're going
gonna
to
heal
throw
our
some
inner
questions
child.
out there. We're going to get a little deep in the mix talk here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Shameless
Gonna get
plug
deep.
there.
We're all gonna cry.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm
Let's
prepared.
all cry.
So yeah, let's throw some let's get some pictures going up there, Pac-Man.
All right, no problem.
And
All right.
then- And the first person that shows up, we're going to take a question that individual submitted, and we're going to see how it flows.
Okay.
Mm.
So here we go. We're
Excuse
gonna
me.
start with the lovely AnnieTalksShow, and we're gonna start with this one.
Oh my god, I'm scared. What you got? Ah! Okay, so y'all, my mom always told me that I was a big talker, and here clearly I'm on the phone, right? So, which actually leads to the question that I wanted to ask, and so I will ask the question. The question is, what did you want to do when you grew up? Knowing, when you were young and whatnot, what did you want to do when you grew up? And how far off? It's kind of a multi question. How far off are you or were you from that? And and what do you suppose changed your path? And if you were given the opportunity to do it differently, what would you do? So, believe it or not, this picture depicts what I wanted to be when I grew up, which was an actual broadcast news person, right? Because I remember being in the back porch with a friend. I was facing the stairs and I was pretending to be a newscaster. Hello, everybody, and welcome, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
Hmm.
on the
So
phone
I
though.
don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I'm too far off from that. I didn't take that step initially. I wanted to be a music or a musical theater artist. So I went that route first. I went to a performing arts school,
Mhm.
got my AA degree in performing arts. Life happened, got married, divorced, married again, sorry, and divorced again. So I'm twice married, twice divorced. So don't hold that against me. Um, so I did that for 2 years. And then it wasn't until, after the kids were sort of like school aged that I decided to go back to school. And I spent 8 years doing obtaining all my degrees, my AA again, BA and MA. I changed from going to musical theater to teacher, which I knew I couldn't do. I couldn't be a teacher anymore because I would probably go to jail because I would probably be too disciplinary on children to the point where I like slap them around a little bit.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I didn't do that. I changed my major one more time and ended up with communications. Started off as a journalist and then a photojournalist and then broadcast journalist. And I wanted a way to be able to marry all the different things, broadcast, singing, um, performing all that stuff together. And then years later, fast forward to today, here I am, on Twitch and on these platforms, YouTube, and I'm doing what I love. I love to sing online. I love to perform. We've even done performances online as no small part. I think is the acting crew that we did a few years back, and then Twitch Sings, and then now here as a variety streamer. What would I do differently? Oh God, make up your mind earlier. But at the same time, have the time to allow yourself to discover who you are. I
Mhm.
didn't have that honestly because I got married so young. My y- first time around, I got married at 21. I had my first child at 22. So that's unfathomable today, right? So I didn't know what I wanted to do then. And obviously, the trajectories changed so many times, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do: broadcast journalism or some type of, talking head, so to speak. And I love it so much, and hence the podcasts that we have. But I would say, take the time to grow up, but also take the time to really, see what you're passionate about and really pursue that. And I didn't have that opportunity because, like I said, I got married so quickly and so early, and then I had a really tumultuous marriage. So I was hidden, I was muted for so long that I just said, after the divorce, that's when I think the true self came out. So I would say, you know, discover who you are, discover what you like, use your passions to, pursue your path. And I'd say, make up your mind, but know what you really want to do. Make sense?
So here's the question, Annie.
Yeah.
Given that you said that if you went to be a disciplinarian and you would have slapped some kids around, would you have slapped your younger self around by telling them that?
Yes, I would. I would. I was
I slap you.
so rebellious. I mean, my mom will tell you now, and it's evident now in my children, my two younger, two my two daughters, and now my new granddaughter, right, who's just as rebellious. So I'm like, oh. Oh, it's coming around full circle. So yeah, I would slap myself around because I was God. Then you were so concerned about what you how you were perceived by your peers in high school, in college, and who cares? Who cares? If you can't live up to their standards, then they're not your friends, y'all. So if you as a friend can't accept me for who I am, then you have no business being my friend. So yeah, I would slap myself around because I was too worried about being that person, everybody's person, and which is, relationships, bad decision, all that. So yeah, I'd say, you know, take the time to know who you are and don't let other outside forces, determine who you are or mold you to what they want you to be. So you need to be the person you want to be.
Hmm,
Yeah.
there you go. And of course, all right, so I'm going to move on with the pictures. So basically, years have gone by. And so we have
Oh,
her, I believe, in high school.
okay, you guys. This was a dance team that I was a part of. So can you guys guess where I am?
I
I
know
feel like if I know the picture.
you're in Carson.
I'm in Carson. I went to Carson High School.
The only
I
they
I
allow
I challenge.
the only they allow the flag girls to have guns.
No,
Only
this
city in
was
California.
we were banner girls, y'all, and we actually this group of people, this group of 12 of us, we went down to Tijuana, Mexico, y'all, to go across the border to get holsters, real gun holsters. I don't know how we were allowed to do that and how we were allowed to bring it back. 16-year-old kids
What did you
going
tell your
across.
parents? I need to go get my uniform fitting in
Yeah,
Mexico.
for real. In Mexico, for real. So, okay, chat. Which one of these gals do you think I am? Where do you think I stand? Where am I in this picture?
The one with the hair.
The one with the
Lots of
gun
big hair.
loaded.
The one
It's
with the gun.
it's so cute though.
Oh, thank
Do you
you.
remember your like any of your routines?
Heck yeah, I remember our march, right? Because we had to do
Nice.
we had to be at a what the heck, a parade of a few parades. I remember a few of our dance routines. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Nice.
Yeah. But okay,
I
so
think that's
which one
great.
do you guys think I am?
Well, I've seen this picture before, so I
Hmm.
already know.
Yeah, me too.
Fourth from the left.
Can you not?
Fourth from the left?
Stupid.
What you said?
No. He's just being dumb. It's either
I'm just kidding.
the first, the one on the very left,
The one
or
looking at the picture? Looking at the picture
The
or
one on the very
from
left.
the third from the right.
The one on the very left.
I think
Okay.
it's the
They
one
they
on the
actually
very
thought we
left.
were sisters, but I am the furthest to the left. Yes,
There
Hmm.
you
and then the
go.
the
Yeah.
third from the right, they always mistook us for sisters.
Andy was
So
first chair, okay?
Hmm.
I
First chair
was
banner. First
I was
banner.
the shortest. Can you believe it? Yeah. So yeah. Thank you. That was me. Where I was a banner girl.
Let's see.
All right. Well, thanks for
Did,
sharing those photos, Annie.
Oh,
Andy,
actually,
did you get to keep the uniform?
Are you kidding me? I burnt that uniform.
Okay.
actually, we do have one more for Annie. So
Oh,
Oh,
oh my
okay.
god.
we're
Okay.
gonna go flip this one over right here. Years gone by, and she has.
Oh, there. I call this the tribe. Yes, this is
Mhm.
me with, my
Love it.
beautiful
It's
thin
so
eyebrow
cute.
days, y'all. And, then we actually shaved our
Aww.
stupid eye, or no, plucked our eyebrows. And I
They're
literally, I
so
was
cute.
albino. I had to paint them in basically, or pencil them in. So,
Ke-
from let's see, from clockwise. So on my bottom left is my youngest daughter. She is a twin to her twin
Aw.
brother next to her. It's Aaron and Ariana, or Ariana and Aaron rather. And then Christopher is my oldest son. He got drafted to the 2013 Major League St. Louis Cardinals, and
Nice.
now he's pursuing law enforcement, and he's going through training and whatnot. So we're proud of him.
Wow.
And then my oldest daughter at the very top, who had a personality beyond your wildest dreams. She's my oldest daughter, Elise. So there you go. That was us.
Oh.
And it was pretty much the five of us all throughout my marriage. So um, hence the reason
Oh.
why I took this picture. And I'm so glad I did because we literally were like we were the nucleus of the family. And yeah, good times, good days.
So, Annie, which daughter was the one that played on Guardian 7?
Ellie at the top.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
She's the one with my grandbaby, so she doesn't look like
Oh.
that anymore. None of them look like this anymore. So actually, I beg to differ, but they definitely they were the ones that got me going, you guys, because
Mm.
my marriage, my life then was so awful that if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be here.
Oh.
Aw.
They're so cute. I love these
Mhm.
pictures.
Yeah, family. Rizaline likes to look at family
I
photos, the
do.
older
Aw.
family photos
Because they
too.
kind of the same. Well, are not the same, but it's like familiar and like comforting because I've seen like
Yeah.
did you take these at like a JC Penney or something or
Yeah.
do
How
you
did you
yeah
know?
because I can
Background,
tell.
Oh my
background,
gosh.
Yeah.
the background.
This was totally
No,
a
this
JC
You just
Penney
go
this
to
is
the
picture.
a no. This is
mall.
a school picture. This is made by Life Touch. No,
No.
Yeah.
no.
No, yeah,
Like,
but dang, Rizaline pegged it. It was a JC Penney picture.
Oh,
And then I
yeah.
got the kids all dressed up and they were so mad at me.
it's so
Why?
And
cute.
you're
I
like, do
love
not get dirty. Do not
I
get
know.
your
Don't
tops
touch that.
dirty.
Get up off
Get
the
away from the
floor.
grass. Get off
Yeah.
the grass.
I know. It's so
They
Exactly.
look all happy. I mean, like
They
they look,
these
you
kids
know.
grew up with building blanket forts in the living room, and
Aw.
Heck
you can hear
yeah.
them
Yep.
giggling and just their
Hmm.
imagination was unbelievably active, and that's what got me going. They made me their singer for
Oh.
a rock band. And then one
Ah.
day they just said, "We don't need you to sing anymore. You're too good, Mom. You need to stop." And I'm like, I literally cried. I'm like,
No, no, you're
"Oh."
too good for the game. That's just yeah.
They wanted to
Oh.
sing on their own in their own way, and it was so
You
funny. I
brought
thought,
their elo too high.
Yeah,
They
you brought
couldn't.
their elo too high. You're like
Yeah,
diamond level.
OMG.
yeah.
You're diamond level to their
They wanted
silver.
to they wanted to just relax and compete at silver,
Right.
bronze.
They wanted to do
Just one
unrated.
unrated. Yeah.
Yes, unrated only.
The next Fan Bam tournament is going to be Rockstar, Rock Band.
Rock band.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing these photos, Annie.
Mhm.
Thank
So
you, you guys.
let's go around quickly and
Yeah.
just with Annie's question, what did you want to be when you grew up? We're talking about our
Yes.
younger selves here. Let's start with you, Pac-Man.
Okay. So, what did I want to be when I grew up? What did you?
You
Um,
didn't do like an assignment when you were a kid that like asked that
you
question?
know what? I probably said the
Right?
same thing that I'm going to say right now. Probably.
Uh-oh.
Um, I was actually, suggested, to be a pilot. I don't know. I wanted to, and I'm like, you know
Oh.
what? It sounds not that bad. Okay. So I wanted to be a pilot, and then later, I think when I started, getting bigger, growing up, and then like, oh, you should be an engineer. A little further than that. Um, so I wanted to be either a pilot or engineer. Let's see.
Wow.
So for how far off am I from that? Being a pilot, so
Well, you
off.
look like. Well, we don't know. I
I
mean, you
am
could be
so
flying in the
off.
air right now. Like we
I know.
can't. We
I
Are you
can't
flying in the
tell.
air
okay.
now?
I could
You're
do a
fine.
simulation. That's just how far of a pilot I will be.
Simulation.
Okay. I will
You
not
play
fly
war
a plane.
games.
And I think somebody, I hope somewhere in chat's watching me, they remembered how I flew an airplane on Grand Theft Auto. Okay. They told me to never do it again. Never ever do it again.
You better get on that flight
Uh,
simulator.
trust. No, you don't
Totally.
want me on the plane.
You need to play war games.
You don't want me on the plane. Anyway, come Annie, we played Fortnite together. You remember when I drove the car, right? So
Oh my
yeah.
God, yes.
Okay. But anyway, engineer. Actually, an engineer, I actually got a associate's degree for engineering.
There you
So
go.
I got there, but let's see, what do I suppose changed my path? In a way, I okay, so it's something that, well, I believe there was. I mean, my brother told me at one time along the way is like there's something that you ought to do, and there's something that you want to do, right? So,
Mhm.
Mm.
engineering was something that I ought to do because along the way while I was in school, I honestly didn't know what an engineer was until like I started doing so well in math. I mean, math was my strong point. Like,
Wow.
in
Not English. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm
you
kidding.
know, yeah, I mean, English is, it was kind of pain, but only because I don't like writing papers. That's all. Like,
Okay.
but for, yeah, I was more of a math guy, and I got all the way up to like calculus in high school. So, yeah, I thought, okay, maybe engineering may be the way to go. But it just kind of, I don't know. I mean, I know I was good at math, like
Mhm.
just the general stuff for engineering, but then I just didn't see it as something I would like as a passion to me. It's just
Mhm.
something I knew what to do. Like, I guess along the way, I was kind of like in Annie's certain path where she became like a mass communications major. When I was a kid, I used to bring a tape recorder,
Nice.
and I had my friends with me, and we just pretend we're on radio. So we just like make up
Oh,
radio ads, and we could
Oh,
just make up our
that's
own
so
music and
cool.
stuff.
No.
So I
that's
was like,
good.
what?
No.
Am I like up until now? I'm like, am I revisiting this now? So like, how is this
Mm.
like?
What did
Um,
you record, Pac-Man? Because when I because Rizaline knows that that's what I did too when I was
mhm,
younger,
yeah.
and like I what I would record with my friends was like we would freestyle and stuff. That's what we.
Oh, dude, we
That's what my
freestyled
tape recorder was freestyle.
everything. We freestyled everything. We came up ads for Coca Cola. No,
Wow.
like we my friend
Oh
was all
my
like, okay, so
gosh.
one of the ads was, I'm like,
Oh
what are you
wow.
doing? Coca Cola. It makes you want to tap dance better.
What?
I'm like, oh, okay,
Wow.
okay,
Brilliant.
okay. I didn't.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
Genius
that
Oh
makes
my
marketing.
sense.
goodness. Yeah.
You go, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that was, we did some creative stuff. I mean, like, yeah. So, if given the if I would have done something differently, uh, let's just say for engineering, if I were to pursue that a little more, I would have, I would love to have a little more passion back then, or know more info back then about, you know, knowing what an engineer is, and then maybe I could probably continue it a little more. I'm up until now, like now, like I'm kind of thinking about going back to it, just because
Mm.
it's the adulting side of it. Um,
Mhm.
I
Mm.
even thought about like communications too, like or anything related to like video producing and stuff like that. It's something I
There
want
you
to look
go.
into. It's just like as you get older, you kind of know what you made it more clear what you want to do, because
Hmm.
back
Right.
then you're kind of trying to figure it out. You know, you just can't figure it out like right away. It's just you kind of have to hear from the grapevine, or just kind of have to either find or be given the path, and then just kind of go what you can with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if I would have done anything differently, yeah, like I would have probably put more into being an engineer, or like have that find a passion for it a little more back then. But other than that, like
Yeah.
it's been fine right now
Good
for me.
answer.
So yeah.
Good
I
answer.
can
Good
go.
answer.
I can go next, but it is interesting too, though, because like I guess what comes to mind is like it is really important to know about these kinds of things when we're younger. Like that's kind of what we're saying is like we wish that we knew about engineering or broadcasting or communications like when we were in what was that high school, middle school, or like into like college. Um
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like I get to know
yeah.
people and they're like, yeah, I do tax auditing or whatever, and I'm like,
How?
ain't nobody as a kid was like, I want to grow up and be an audit people,
Or
you know.
maybe they did. Maybe you never
But most
know.
people that do that stuff, they don't do like they didn't grow up do. I don't.
You
I
never
just
know.
it's just so interesting sometimes. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's and like I like there's people I know who are kind of in like the high school and going into college, and and it's like I want to connect them with people I know that are in the fields they're interested in. And like, if there's people in chat that are in some, or in our communities that are in some certain industry, and like, it's all, I mean, that's part of networking too. I think like the Twitch community is a big network of people that we can tap in for that stuff too. So, but so the question was, what did we want to be when we grew up? So I probably said this before, but in kindergarten, the assignment was we had to like draw a picture, and I will always remember it. And I drew a picture of myself with like a microphone, and then me like dancing, but then like my knee is like going like backwards because I don't know how to draw stick figures. But it said, when I grow up, I will be a singer, and my hobby will be a dancer. I will wear nice clothes and make performances, and I'm good at singing and dancing. so, so maybe that's just like the Filipino upbringing of like wanting to be creative and express yourself in that way. But um, I mean, the creativity part is still there because as I got older, I there was another assignment that we had in 8th grade, and like my dream was like to go my dream was to go to art school in like San Francisco and like live at my relative's house in San Francisco and be like in that city life. But that was expensive, and so then I decided to go into like marketing and advertising, and I figured like it's like businessy but also like creative. So
Mm.
um I mean, how far? I don't know. I mean, and then like after college, like I was nannying for a minute and doing all these things. I mean, now I feel like I'm in a job that is like my thing, but
Mhm.
and I'm okay with it. But I mean, maybe I kind of wish that I did it sooner. But it is, it is just like at this point for me, like I want to help other people to get to connect with people in whatever jobs or things. Like a lot of us now, like we've been working for a while, like we're more experienced, and we're more hireable. um
Mhm.
but yeah, I don't know, I'm just, and I mean, I still like to sing, I still like to dance.
Yeah.
um that's not
Sure.
that's not what's paying the bills,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Right.
but I'm still pretty good at singing and dancing. Yeah.
Only a very few fortunate ones ever get to do what they love and get paid for it at the same time. I feel,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Very true.
very few
I mean,
fortunate ones.
yeah.
I'll go next, and then we'll pass it on to Johnny. Um, the question to remind everyone in chat was, "What did you want to be when you grew up?" Um, I think that, well, it varies. At one point, I wanted to be a football player.
Huh.
Um,
Oh.
uh, at another point, I wanted to be a hip hop artist or a producer.
Huh.
Football kind of might.
This is new to me.
Well, I mean, that's what everybody wanted to be like in the 90s, late
Really?
90s. I mean, hip hop was the thing to be, especially like I grew up in Vallejo, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to make like everybody in the Bay Area at the time wanted to make like mixtapes and like get
Mhm.
signed as an artist, and um so anyway, yeah, I wanted to play football. I played football in high school, and I realized that that's not the type of culture and not the type of environment that I wanted to like keep going with. So that kind of like ended there. When it came to hip hop, I realized that there aren't a lot of Asians in the hip hop scene. I didn't feel like that would have been the best route to go down for me. Um, but I did enjoy making music with my friends. Like as I got older,
Hmm.
what I did see though was a lot of Asian dudes making R&B groups.
Yeah.
And so after that, I was like, you know what? I want to make an R&B group with my friends. So we made this group called Ascendage.
Oh
We would try to
Ascended.
we sang like a few shows and stuff like that. Um, we weren't good. We were not good at all.
Were they shows or were they just like gatherings?
Um, there were like some talent shows and stuff that we did. Yeah, it was embarrassing. A couple of guys were tone deaf. Uh,
Oh my god.
yeah. So
Oh,
it really is just a matter of like trying to find what works and what you're into. I guess what's funny is like I never really, as far as like an actual job, as opposed to being something like that was really cool. Um, I think I would say I was more like similar to Annie, where like my dad had a camcorder, and I really enjoyed using that. So I wanted to do something along the lines of like broadcasting and video production, and so and that's pretty much the route that I went down.
yeah.
And that's kind of how I landed where I'm at right now, doing more video production, but in like a virtual space. So, um, uh, yeah, and if that's what I do think that that's what I want my career to continue doing, probably more in the traditional sense. That's part of why I built what FabBam to be what it is, because I'm more into production and live streaming and event production, and hopefully I can build a career into doing more of that stuff. I know that there's a lot that I've been talking about, but going back to the music portion, fun fact, y'all. Me and my good friend Illusion have been cooking up some music right now. So maybe my dream of being a hip hop artist is not yet finished. You know what I'm saying? I might be dropping some
Wow.
bars pretty soon.
You heard it here first.
You did not hear it yet, but
Oh,
you will. You heard the keep an eye out for my album. Yeah. Anyway, coming out soon. All
Keep
right.
an
To you,
eye for
Johnny.
our
What did you want to be
album.
when you grew up?
Okay. So when I was a kid, really, I wanted to be a musician.
um,
Now you have to understand
Ah,
that I played the trumpet, and I played since the fifth grade. So
Oh.
yeah, I we're talking 8 years
nice.
of playing music, um, performing. And I mean, that's all there was for me. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. However, when I got to my later years in high school, I think I overdid it because I was in the concert band, symphonic band, jazz band, marching band. I was even helping out the drama team by playing live music. And that's what really did it for me. I just got really, really pretty much a burnout
Hmm.
from wanting to play at all. And the more I thought
hmm.
about it, it's like, I don't know, what are you going to do when you graduate high school? I mean, are you going to be in a mariachi band, making money that
That'd
way?
be cool.
Are you going to teach? I really had no intentions of being a teacher of music or anything like that. I mean, I was passionate about it, but I think just the burnout alone kind of killed any desire that I wanted to go beyond that
Hmm.
into college. And college even wasn't really a thing I wanted to do, to be honest. So I ended up later in life, I grew up around computers thanks to my dad. And so later in life, when computer programming and all that became more accessible, because even when I was actually graduating high school, computers, I mean, to make a program at a computer, you need one of those punch cards. I mean, it was not like it is today or even like what it
Yeah,
was 20 years ago. So
yeah.
later on, I kind of worked a lot. I worked different jobs. I was always enthusiastic. I always wanted to help people. That's another thing I was passionate about. I was passionate about music, but I like to help people. I like to kind of, in different ways, help people out. So I eventually did go back to school and get into the computer field, get a degree in computer science and go into the computer field. And in that field, I got to help people. I got to help the industry, help um, different organizations, a lot of schools. I had a lot of accounts with schools, and I would help them. I
Ooh.
helped them build the first petabyte database server at UCLA.
Mm,
Wow.
wow.
So it's really cool, and you get to talk to people that are passionate about technology, like you are. So my future kind of deviated away from what I wanted to do as a kid. But honestly, thinking as a kid, being a musician is like signing your life away to a lifetime of
Yeah.
a lifetime of being poor, basically. Because
Yeah.
there's not a
Oh,
lot of
right.
opportunities.
Yeah,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Puppetry. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Unless you
Yeah,
want to be a
that's true.
teacher, you want to be a music teacher, there's opportunity in that, but I didn't want to pursue that.
You could
Anyway,
have made a ska band, Johnny.
Yo.
Ska was was dope at that
He's
time.
like,
I could have been in the big bad voodoo daddy, right?
have you
Uh,
played recently, or like have you picked up the trumpet
I
again
can
or
still play.
anything?
No, I can still play. It's just I
Ooh.
really got burned out. I really overdid it. And
Aw.
and you know what? When you're younger, you do concerts. You raise money for the school,
Mhm.
for the band, for
Mhm.
the different clubs and all that. So, but you don't get paid directly. And I think that kind of deters a lot of people from wanting to
Yeah.
see that
yep.
there is opportunity, because in your mind it's like I do all this. It's a lot of pressure to perform.
Right.
Yeah.
I was used to it at the time, but it is a lot of stress when you overdo it. Sometimes you just got to take a step away, take a
Yeah.
couple steps away, and then you'll find that passion again. So that's
It's
my
definitely.
word
Oh
of
no, go ahead.
wise is sometimes you
Yeah.
got to step away to renew that passion.
Yeah. It's
Ooh, I
Yeah.
like
definitely
that
a
one.
fine line because well, especially like in high school, it's like well, so what comes to mind is I know my younger brothers, they did like band, the whatever kind of marching band thing that they have in high school, and like the people that were teaching it or in charge, they were like my age. So then my brothers are like 4 years younger. So but they push for some reason these people, these young adults were teaching these high school kids, and like they were pushing them really hard, and it's like
Mm,
to the point that some, I don't know, some they're like it's detrimental for their mental health and their physical health because they're doing all these things, and
mm,
like
Well,
it's oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I was going to say is I had a conversation with my sister about this.
Yeah.
Music is unlike any other academics. You
Hmm.
could get 90% right on math. You can get 90% right on literature or English. You can get 90% right in science. But in music, if you get 90% right, you suck. I mean,
Hmm.
you don't even
Yeah.
I
deserve to
saw
be in the building.
Whiplash. I saw
No,
Whiplash.
that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
A musician needs to be almost perfect every time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, right away, there's a lot of pressure because music is not like any other academics at all.
It is.
You cannot be 90% player. You cannot
Right.
be.
Mhm.
It's just the way it is. I mean, it really is an art. It's a passion. You really, and when you come, you go there. When you go to rehearse, you're not learning the music. You better know it already. That's the whole point,
Right.
is to
Hmm.
rehearse together as an ensemble,
Yes.
not to how does this go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand where the music teachers come from, because
Right.
you cannot be 90% student. That doesn't work in music. You might as well.
Yeah.
It's just not for you then. That's the honest truth of it. I mean,
It's a
yeah,
Mhm.
very
Yeah. And then
scrutinizing profession, honestly.
yeah,
and the thing too though is it's it's good to push us when we're young, like we're in high school or middle school, into like these sports or these extracurricular activities, and it's good, but then it is the fine line of like doing it too much that you do get burnt out and that you don't, it completely turns you off to pursuing it at all. Like
Right.
there's
yeah,
like on the one hand, we're like, I wish that I had these resources when I was younger to pursue these interests and to build up these skills. But then it's like what you're saying, Johnny, where you got to the point where like it was just way too much. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hope that when I'm a parent that I can push my kid enough, but also like not like push them like too much.
Oh no,
That
our kid better be perfect and
oh
everything.
god.
That's fine. They're gonna be
It's the
No.
Filipino
talented.
way, guys.
They're gonna be performing
Okay.
nonstop. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It's like
And if
Mozart. You blindfold your kid and make him play the piano and play the
Oof.
guitar, and a wind-up
yeah.
doll. A wind-up doll.
On that note, let's look at some more photos, Pac-Man.
All right, ready to move on? All right. Okay, so let's see here. We're going switch up here. All right.
We have like a delay, so we
Here we
have
go.
to fill the air with some words about things.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we got done with Annie. So looks like we're gonna go and switch up to DJB. So,
Oh,
so,
Ah.
so we found a
DJB.
photo for DJ, and here we are.
I have to wait till it catches up to us. We have a little bit of latency.
Oh.
What photo is it?
That's the acapella group, right? That's got to be the acapella group.
Oh.
Okay, now you know what I am seeing.
It's part of Kai. Okay, no.
Jacob Batalon, the guy from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I can
Yep,
see
the
it.
face.
Spider-Man.
I can see it.
I see it. I see it.
So look, we all
The
need
hair with
matching.
the-
We all need matching outfits for our
Yeah.
acapella group.
Hey, remember,
Yeah.
have your people call his people.
Yo.
Oh my gosh, what a difference.
Yeah.
Look at the baggy jeans. What a transformation.
That was the
Yeah.
style back then. That was the
Wow.
style, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm rocking some J's, I'm holding it down for my peeps. Those Pro Strongs Jordans. I got the sweater vest when it was a thing. Anyway,
What album cover is this? Music drummer says.
This was not taken at JCPenney. Do you remember what studio this was taken at?
I believe the studio was called A1 Studios. For
Oh.
those from Vallejo, A1.
It's like that like blurry
Film
filter.
studio.
Yes, I
I-
remember that one.
I thought it was
Yeah, a
called
lot of-
Photo Makers.
That was the thing, and
In the
so whenever there's a
90s.
photo that comes up, by the way, everyone, just it'd be great to if you share just a little bit about this, what maybe this
Yeah.
time of your life or something like that. But I was about 13, 14 in this photo.
Wow.
My AOL, my AIM screen name was VTKZ Thug.
Oh my god.
That was my name. Yeah. I
Hey,
was listening to Tupac nonstop.
Well, it's better than Pinoy
BTK
Prince,
Zito.
so you're okay.
DJ, DJ, music drummer wants to know what album cover was this from?
Yeah.
What album
Is that
cover?
from your new album?
straight out of Vallejo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight out of
mean,
NorCal.
What's so funny is that I didn't think this looked gangster at all. Back then, when I thought this looked preppy,
It's the vest.
and stuff. But yeah, every
Over
time
a
I show this
white
photo to
t-shirt.
people, like I put this in Illusions Discord. Illusion was like, that gangsta Neil though.
Guy from Spider-Man.
Gangsta lean, right? Gangsta lean.
The
Yeah.
gangster lead.
God.
I was ghetto.
Oh, but the
What's
gangsta
funny is
lean.
He was
I
ghetto.
didn't realize how ghetto I was. I mean, that's just what the kids that I knew. That's what the culture that I knew. That's what was popular back then, and that's just all I really. That's all I really was exposed to. I was a product of where I grew up. But my question
To yourself.
to myself or to dear younger self is like, and this is what I would like everyone to also chime in on, and as far as like what your answer would be. Who was your type back then?
Nice.
Oh no.
God.
And if I'm
Let's go.
and if and has that changed over time? And in
Let's
what
go.
ways? Well,
Let's go.
I know. It's like we can. You don't have to go too deep into it if you don't want to. Don't feel pressured. To
Let's
go too
get
deep into
controversial.
it.
This won't take long.
And the part two of that is also like, who were your best friends at this point in time,
Aw.
and are you still friends now?
Oh, damn.
OMG.
Let's get-
So this is technically a photo of when I'm like 13, 14. So teenage, early high school years. Let's think back into that era, I
It's
think.
like middle school.
My type back then,
Wait, how old?
13, 14,
Okay.
early high school-ish, Um well,
Let's go.
I think I was a generic Filipino dude. I was into Filipino girls at school.
Ah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
cool.
I like girls that wore like the TLC look, kind of like the overalls, the baggy denims.
In the circle on
Um,
the. Okay, never mind.
In the condom,
Oh no,
in the glasses. I
Oh
ain't
my
too
I
proud to
said
beg.
circle,
Go.
guys. I said circle. He.
God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
okay. It's
I
okay.
like girls that as
Yeah.
as time went on, like girls would be wearing like the puka shells and the K Swiss.
Oh
I,
my
I don't know if
god.
anyone remembers like when people used to stuff their sneakers to make their sneakers look fat. I thought that was really cute when girls did that back then. So that was my type. Those are the types of girls that I was into when I was this young. Um, has that changed over time? Hey, if like I still respect like uh girls in sneakers and stuff like that. I think that's cool. A girl that looks like she can just get down and still be comfortable and
I
stuff
like
like that.
girls that wear shoes. Okay.
What
Okay.
can I say? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from Vallejo, so but I mean, like nowadays has it changed over time? I I think just girls that are cool and chill and comfortable. I'm not into like the fabulous type of girls. The girls that are always into like the fancy stuff. To me, that's like, yeah. Some guys are into that type of thing, but that was never me.
Yeah.
And to answer my other question, who are my best friends at this point in time? Well, my crew was called the VTK. I cut them out of the photo, but
Ouch.
the other three,
And he
uh,
cut them out in real life. I'm
the
just kidding.
anyway, the guy to the left, his we called him 3J. The guy above me, his name was Pro Mac,
Oh
and
my god.
the other guy, his name was Short G. That's that's right.
Aw.
And I was Z Thug. So uh, still friends now. No, I
That's
mean
awesome.
we keep in touch. We have a group chat that we sometimes just send memes in, but none of them really use Discord. None of them were gamers. I was one of the few gamers in my crew. And yeah, one lives in Alaska, one lives in New York, and one still lives in Vallejo. And
Well, and they also like got married and
yeah,
had kids and
they're
different
living life. They're
trajectories.
Mhm.
one of them is getting his doctorate at Yale. One of
Wow.
them
Yeah.
is doing stuff in the Great White North. Does Alaska count as the Great White North,
I
or is
don't.
that just Canada?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I
ignorant
mean,
American here. Sorry.
They're
yeah,
they're all the same to me. Oh,
it's
sorry.
all north and great. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
that's
Good.
yeah.
I love
I
that.
still consider them friends. I look forward to the next time we have a reunion and we're chilling and stuff like that. So yes, thank you, Brennan. By the way, for putting in our questions in the chat. Feel free, chat,
Yeah.
to let us know what was your type 13, 14 years old, and what has it changed now. Let's bring that question over to Johnny.
Okay. What was my type back then? Has that changed over time? Mm, you know what? I've always back then, back then, I think I was just attracted to artistic people.
Mm.
People that are
Mm.
passionate, like into music, the drill team dancers, artists. People that are passionate about stuff.
Creatives.
You know, I had a
Mhm.
friend who was a cello player. She was awesome. Just watching her like play.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So that was really my type: artistic people,
Mm. Troubled
musicians,
souls.
dancers. I always had a thing for dancers too, just that they could do their routines on in a minute's notice. Just it's awesome.
Huh.
They just
Mm.
loved it so much.
Right.
Has that changed? Yeah, it's probably changed because you got to make ends meet, right? Dance don't pay the bills sometimes. It's the
Yeah.
truth,
Oh, right.
right? It's great on a Friday night, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Great on a Friday night. Awesome. All right,
The
who you
friends.
tagging?
What's the? Was it
Oh,
Oh,
other
I can
question?
bring it over to the next person.
Okay.
Oh well, sorry, Johnny. The other question was, what were your friends like back then, and are you still friends now?
oh yeah, I'm still friends with a lot of friends from back in the day. My best friend is Crime on the Hate and Crime, the Brothers Hate and Crime show on my
Ooh,
YouTube channel. So that's
nice.
my best friend on there. And yep, we still have great times.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
All right, let's bring it over to Rizaline.
Okay. Was there also? Did you have another picture? Were we showing that or?
Oh yeah, can we
Oh, you know what?
bring it to the next photo?
But while you're doing that, I can
Since
share.
yeah,
Yeah.
Who was my type back then, and has that changed? My type has always been
oh
Shabasha.
sorry,
Wow, my type. I can't hear it. Why
just
did
let me
you?
let me do it. Let
Okay,
me do it, and you can keep going.
but you can't hear what I hear.
We hear
We're
you.
doing great. Okay, my type is a nerdy Asian guy that wears glasses. Well, actually, not the glasses part, but yeah, that's always kind of been my type. Yeah.
Oh,
How has that changed over time? It doesn't change. It's the
okay. So
same.
That's not true.
since it
He's
doesn't change,
nerdy.
since it
Nerdy
doesn't change,
Asian
okay.
ghetto guys with glasses.
Okay.
That has changed.
Well, okay.
Just
I
kidding.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect. I mean, I didn't. I was thinking about that the other day, though. I was like, wow, like, huh? I didn't expect that. I didn't expect you because you're. I don't know. We've always known each other, so and then there in the before times, I had like prom. I brought someone to prom and like homecoming, whatever.
Can you pull
Um.
up that next photo, Pac-Man?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Doing great. Who are my best friends at that point? If we're
Oh.
talking about like high school, uh, I mean, I keep in touch with my friends from high school. So this picture is from like when we like just started dating, and it was like we're still we like
10 years
we're
ago.
yeah we were like it's like I said, like we've known each other for years, but then it was also just interesting to like adjust to like dating and like being in a relationship. But yeah, I do talk to my friends from high school. Funnily enough, we just hosted them here at our place like literally last night, like a couple hours ago. Some of them slept over and they were here. So yeah, somehow there's a group of us that still keep in touch. We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord, we have a Instagram chat, and it is interesting just like how how everyone's just grown up. And there's people in SoCal. We have someone that lives in Germany. A lot of us are in the Bay Area. Um, but it is nice to just have that group of friends that I've always known. And I mean, we're still going strong. I'm a groomswoman for my friend's wedding, and no one has popped out any babies yet, but I guess that's supposed to happen eventually. We're all in like our 30s.
Wow.
Um,
I'm actually very envious of like Rizaline's friend group because they're all very good about still staying in touch with each other, hanging out with each other whenever they can. Even though you all graduated like 10 years ago at this point, right?
Mm.
More than that.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
2010.
yeah. So
Yeah. Mm, was I supposed to pick somebody?
oh,
Ye-
You
let's
can.
go ahead and bring it over to Annie.
Uh, okay, so
14-year-old.
I was a stereotypical high schooler, pre or freshman, junior ish around that time. So, or no, not junior, freshman, sophomore. So I actually went for the jocks. I went for like the football players. And I actually dated one throughout my entire year or years in high school, and I married him later. So he was my daughter's daddy. So my daughter's baby daddy. Um, Has that changed? Oh, yes. 100 times. Yes, 100 times. I mean, not to say I don't like jocks or athletic people. I love them, but yeah, there's not a lot of mm, we don't have a lot of things in common. although I do. Okay, so has it changed? Yes, I don't have a type now because once you're married 2 times, you're like, no, no, no. So I'm like on the single kick at the moment, but I I do appreciate um sports talk when it comes to baseball primarily and basketball. So those are my two absolute favorites. So baseball is 100 times my favorite sport, and I like you, DJ. I always used to try to do. I would never do play by play ever, like on the side. Try to mimic play by play commentators or sports broadcasters, but I would always add the color, so to speak.
Mhm.
Um, so sometimes, I when my son was younger and he was going into travel ball and he was drafted and whatnot, I would I was deemed their not there but through Perfect Games scorekeeper, official scorekeeper. So I actually would watch games from home on my leisure and do scorebooks. So
Oh wow.
yeah, and I loved it so much that I was like, oh, the next, whatever, he's going to be a sports guy, da da da, or has to be this, and then he was. I got married again, and he was over the top, like with baseball, to the
Mm.
point, like he wanted to school my son on how to do certain things, but then he ended up telling me in the middle of the night, like, what he needs to do, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm trying to sleep. What are you doing?
Oh, so it's
So it was
the
too,
extreme, yeah.
yeah, too extreme. I would say now, I like well, they have to have the same interests as me. So one singing, music. Would I like them to be a gamer? Sure, that helps because I spend a lot of time here, as you guys know. And I say this all the time. I preach this all the time in my Discord. Like, I need somebody that, or if there is another somebody that understands that this is what I do, that this is what I come home to. I go to
Mhm.
work.
Yeah.
I come home, and honestly, the thing I like to retreat to is this. I like to be here in front of my computer, and I like to play, I like to stream, I like to talk, all that. So hopefully, that'll happen, but I'm not in a rush for it. Am I still friends? My friends, no. I had a lot of high school acquaintances or friends. Even that dance group, we were close after high school, I want to say, and maybe into college, and then we all went our separate ways. And we have a Facebook group that we once in a while chime in, and somebody will try to do a reunion, and it never works. So I'm still friends with them, but I don't have the same friends from high school. I don't even have the same friends from college. So I'm kind of a loner, kind of going through life right now with really no friends, like true girlfriends, per se. But I consider this community a family. So this is what I love to do, and this is where I want to be. And I was just saying to Pac-Man earlier today that just the amount of people that came through the Discord last night was so fun, and they made me pee my pants, and all this. So this is now my friend. These folks virtually are now my friends, and sometimes we do get together IRL, right? Pac-Man, myself, Johnny, you guys too. I've met you two IRL several times, even at TwitchCon. So this is what I consider my new friends, or my new family. So there you go.
It is definitely that like expectation of, well, because there's like the stereotype of like the the popular people in high school and the jock, and like how like that's their peak or whatever, and I don't
Hmm.
know, that's the whole. And then I mean, maybe I did have that ideal of like, oh, like these are people that I'm gonna grow up with and they're gonna be my friends like forever, and like some
That's what
cases,
everybody thinks, right?
Yeah,
When you're at
sure.
that
yeah.
age.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like, would we? It's like for our kids, would we crush their dreams and be like, these people aren't gonna be your friends forever? Or I don't. I
I don't
don't
know.
know how
I
to.
don't know.
That's just one of
Yeah.
those things that we like
Yeah.
learn, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
All
maybe
right.
I
it's a
mean,
good thing though, because if they know that, hey, everyone in high school. I remember I had a teacher once, and he would say that we're the luckiest people on earth, and while we were in high school, he was like a sub, and we're like, why would you say that? He goes, because never before in your life will you be around people of the same age, so many of them at one place, one
It's
time.
true. Like
So
high school
maybe
and
it is
college.
okay
Yeah.
for your kids to know that, hey, you're probably not going to see your high school friends or be in direct contact with them for years and years to come, because maybe it'll make that time more special and they can actually do more things in high school, in junior high, with their close friends of the time.
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
Okay, reminiscing.
Pac-Man. How about you, bro?
Okay, guys. Whew. All right. So, like I said, excuse me. Like I said, it's gonna be real quick. All right. So, who was my type back then? Now, back then, uh, back in the day when I was kind of younger. Hi, hello, younger self. Um, I was kind of romanticized with the whole girl next door thing, right? So
Oh.
like,
Mm.
as long as she's sweet and whatever, kind of cool to hang out with, be a friend. Hey, cool, right? Um, and as it kind of got, when time went on, my type all of a sudden began to be like almost like what DJs is, either Asian or Filipino. So it's a whole typical thing. But the thing was, I wasn't. Again, it's the Asian Filipino type, but kind of that sweet girl next door kind of personality. So I was never into like the popular girls or anything like that, or like just the ones that are just so into in crowd. I'll For me myself, I was so introverted. Like I was barely extroverted. Like I hang out with my friends, but I wasn't like kind of too out there. You know what I mean? Like I don't join a lot of like with join a lot of friends when I was in school or grade school. Um, yeah, like I said, I'm a little more introverted. So kind of my type back then, it was more of the Asian Filipino normal person. um,
Normal.
well, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
loaded
explain normal.
word.
Yeah, I know, but that's a little bit to explain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is a girl next door? Like, does that?
Literally next door.
But like, so she's
Like
not
my
like
personality,
popular.
like
Well,
she's like,
Like not
hey,
like
you want to come out to play, or like I
it's
don't
kind.
know.
I mean, it kind of the
Yeah.
like
the
Dawson's Creek. I
yes.
feel like Dawson's Creek like
Well,
was
that's the
the
literal girl next door.
was the
Yes,
Yeah.
Joey Potter from Dawson's
okay,
Creek,
Yeah.
Katie Holmes, right? But
okay.
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of like one. She's about this. Technically, what's implied there is that since they live in the same neighborhood, she's about the same social class as you.
Oh,
You know what I
Yeah,
okay.
mean?
some same social class. Yeah,
Like she's not like some higher rich girl or
someone
something like
who
that.
is in my league or
Okay.
in my comfort zone,
Yeah,
or more of a
and
comfort
not
zone. Yeah,
right, and not
in a way.
someone that like
So
uh
it's like
Just
start
want to
off as
throw
friends
things at me and
first.
stuff, like
sure.
metaphorically.
But
Um,
couldn't that get messy though? I mean, she's right next
but
door. What if it
see,
didn't work out? She'd be like
Yes,
parading her new boyfriend in front of the house,
it's
just
called
like,
Dawson's Creek.
oh, that's also
Yeah.
called the Wonder Years. So I used to watch that all the time.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's what
true.
romanticized the whole thing. My
It's a
whole
lot of the
mentality of that.
TVs, movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a lot of
Right.
TV. Well, okay, moving forward from that one. Has that changed over time in what ways? Yes, it 100% did, because it just came to the point where like I had to kind of venture out outside of that. And I had relationships later, and it kind of materialized to the point where like, it cannot be within, for me personally, it wouldn't be I cannot fit that type anymore. So I become a little more versatile. So in a way, like, it's, to me, it could be anybody, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the type that became till now. So up until now. um so who were my best friends at that point in time? I had a lot of best friends, but actually, my best friends were actually at a different school, so we didn't
Uh,
really hang out that much after high school.
Oh.
Yeah, we used to hang out a lot. And along the way, of course, some best friends, they go away, and yeah, we used to go to the mall. We used to ride bikes, and
I
oh,
ride
you know,
bikes.
yeah, just kind of
go
typical like
outside.
yeah, typical middle school kid turned high school. Well, actually, we didn't really hang out that much in high school, but yeah, more of middle school kids. Our parents drop us off and just hang out or watch movies or whatever like that.
Do
Um,
you mean that like you had friends in middle school, and then when you guys all went to
yeah.
different high schools?
Then we went to different high schools. We still hung out.
Okay,
We hung out
got it.
sometimes, but not
Yeah,
as much.
yeah,
So
I feel that.
yeah, I had some best friends like that, and let's see. Up until now, are we still friends? We are, but the thing is, we kind of talk very seldomly because we have our lives to deal with, and every time we meet up, it's always we always catch up on things.
Hmm.
Um,
That's awesome.
but my best friends are the people I hang out now. Like it's the crew here, and see Annie's community. I got my own community too. I mean, they're all my best friends right now. So,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I mean, e
I think we're friends. I think we're all friends,
I
right?
think we're
I don't
you,
friends.
know.
yeah, I think you
I don't know.
qualify. Why not? You meet the cut.
They
So
just
Yeah,
push us
you
all
made the
you
together.
cut.
made the cut. So yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's move on to the next photo. Who do we
Okay.
have up next, Pac-Man?
Actually, yeah. So we'll move on from here. So y'all have not seen these photos on Discord, so y'all have been waiting for it. So like
Oh, it's
I'm
you,
I know, man, the mystery.
yeah, so I'm
David.
so I
David
guess it's my
Schwimmer.
turn, guys. So yeah. All right, so here we go.
Do you want to share the question?
I can share it for you if you want, Pac-Man.
Yes.
We have them
Oh
here.
my goodness.
Hold on, I want to wait.
Ah!
Oh,
This is so
wow.
cute.
Yeah.
Those are
That's
school
look like
pictures, right? That's
Lucy.
school
yep.
picture.
Now that's a school picture.
It's
That's
a-
made by Life
Oh.
Touch.
Yes.
That's
I
a
I
like
love
Life
the
Touch picture.
background
Yeah.
and the
Oh,
shirt
man.
Yeah.
and the
The
hair and the
shirt.
awkward pose.
Oh. You have seen them yet?
Yes, man.
So this is me in first grade. Actually,
Oh,
this is
I want to
the
put this on my
year.
fridge.
this this okay,
Put it
this
on
is
my
the
fridge,
year.
Pac-Man.
This is the year when I transferred from kindergarten to first grade because I skipped a grade that year.
What?
Well, look at you. Hey.
And I was wearing that Fido Dido
Too
hat.
good
If
for
you guys,
school.
if you guys are like, you remember the back then when you used to drink 7 Up or whatnot, Fido Dido, that he was on the shirt. So
Oh. Wait, what did you skip? You
Fido,
said
Dido,
you
what?
skipped
Kindergarten to first grade. What?
Kindergarten
You
to
were
first
too
grade.
cool for.
Wait, what's
What?
supposed to be between kindergarten and first grade?
Yeah.
You
um,
skipped kindergarten?
nice.
You
No,
just
I okay. So I went through a half year of kindergarten.
Okay.
I because before
Oh.
kindergarten I went to preschool, right? So
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, as one does.
I was in kindergarten for half a year, and they found out that I can read pretty good.
Oh.
So
Can read.
they, yeah.
My golly.
So just a quick thing though, like I think there was like a librarian and a
Sheldon.
principal
By
that
Jove.
pulled, yeah, a vice. I mean, I think it was a vice principal or whoever. It was a principal and the librarian. They pulled me out of class just to kind of test me how I read and stuff. So I read pretty good.
Wow.
So they decided to move me up from like after a half year of kindergarten, they moved me up just straight up to first grade.
Oh.
That was that year.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, so there's
Prodigy over here.
yeah, there's me with a little bit
Smart
of
boy.
Ralph Alpha head. So
What about all your friends in the kinder? You had to leave them behind?
ironically, my
You were like peace.
my
I know how to
neighbor,
read.
like
I'm kidding.
I
Voted.
I can read.
yeah,
I can reads.
hey, I could read, fool. Anyway,
Good for you, man.
was
I'm
it.
so
Way to
proud.
know those
In
letters.
English was just like my low point. But anyway,
Look at you.
I had to
now.
leave. I had to leave behind my friend who was my neighbor.
Oh, the girl
And
next door.
you know what?
Wow.
Ironically, she was a
was
friend.
Whoa.
I had to go leave her because we took the same we had the same kindergarten class, and then I had to go to first grade. So ironically, after that, we didn't talk much.
That could have been your soulmate. You
That's
left
your-
her behind
I
because you could
know.
read. You should be like, I
But-
can't read. I can't read. I'm just.
But you know what?
Yeah,
As it
I got it.
turned out, like it wouldn't turn out to be. So oh well, that's another story there.
You
Anyway,
still know her? You still keep it? No, I'm just kidding. That's a whole other story. Sorry,
that's a whole
sorry,
another
sorry.
story. But I mean, it's cool up, man. Like we
Uh-huh.
kind of know what's going on, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. Okay. Should I introduce a question or should I do that? All right.
So, Pac-Man. So Pac-Man's question here.
I mean, he's the one who knows how to read, so he should.
Can I
Yeah,
read,
let him
please?
read it.
Can I?
Sure.
Can I do it?
We're gonna promote you.
I had to go to school traditionally.
Okay.
You did the full
Unfortunately,
kindergarten.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
It's all right. I
Took-
hope
you
I
took
can,
the full
I hope
load.
I can
Okay.
meet your standard. No. Were you popular? And how popular were you amongst your peers? Which group did you hang out with the most?
Oh gosh.
What school functions were you part of?
Okay. So was I
Good
popular?
times.
Not really. I was more popular within my own circle of friends, to be honest. But like, I
My
mean, and then
bad.
again, like I wasn't popular per
My
se.
bad.
I just they just know me. So yeah. I usually just hang out with like I would say it's like a variety of people. It wasn't like, you know, there was a clique where they had like a bunch of Asian Filipino groups there all together. I was more with like the ones that are more, very diverse. That's what I was gonna find. I'd say like my group is more diverse. We like different things. We all loved video games. So
Nice.
yeah, and yeah, I used to usually hang out with them the most, and sometimes like yeah, either that in high school I'd be hanging out with my girlfriend back then and her group, so it's kind of like a little, you know, there and there. Um, was I involved with a lot of school functions? Actually, somewhat. I was involved in a ballroom dance class in high school.
Wow. Sample.
Yeah.
What?
Not right now.
You
no,
charmer,
Your school had a
I'm-
ballroom dance class?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, like we had a ballroom dance. I mean, it sounded dumb at first.
Nah, dude.
Then
I mean, yeah.
then I found out who's gonna be in the class like later on. So
There
like,
you
okay, you
go.
know what? Let's do it. Forget
Let's
PE. I
do
mean,
it.
that was PE
All
credit
the
too.
girls next
That was
door.
PE credit. So like, hey, why not?
Wow.
That works. So it was a good class. You know, I taught not only dancing but etiquette. How to actually use a fork, knife, spoon.
In the
So-
ballroom class?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's you learn. They taught etiquette also.
Oh my
Interesting.
goodness.
So that was actually somewhat interesting. Um,
That is
we performed in homecoming dances, or actually homecoming games. Actually, during halftime, we actually performed in front of
cool.
everybody.
Oh, cool.
So it was actually pretty cool, and like but other than that, school functions. Other than that, in prom and junior prom, those are probably the only school functions I ever uh, got involved in. Even in grade school, like I I never got okay. So low key, I've never had any. I never got into those like mother son dances or anything like that, or any
They had
extracurriculars. You know, yeah,
Hmm.
they actually had some of those.
They
back
had
then.
mother son
Were
dancing.
you in like
Interesting.
student clubs?
Actually, it was one student club, but we didn't really do much. We just sat around, do nothing. And this was after school. Like, I'd rather go home.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So, yeah, somewhat I did a few of those.
Wait, what
School
club
functions,
was it?
It was called Club Live.
Huh. Okay.
It wasn't really live. But
you just live.
you just live.
It's called
Yeah.
live. You don't really do nothing. You just live.
Yeah, you just live.
Talk
Like
about life.
We're all in that club.
I would rather. Yeah, I'd rather just
Yeah.
live
Got
at
the
home.
t-shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the only cool part was like we get these little tiny cards and we get discounts in certain places. But that was the only thing. I'm like, yeah, that was probably the only thing cool about
That's
that.
called Sam's Club.
Yeah, that's called Sam's Club. But that was free though. One I had was free. No discounts. Yeah.
I'm just like watching Johnny, like blushing.
Club Live.
Oh
so
man.
Imagine going to a
Johnny.
nightclub. It's called Club Live.
Club Live. Hey yo, you want to go up to this club? It's called Club Live.
What do you do there?
You wanna
I don't know.
live?
We just hang out after school.
Okay.
We just live.
Yeah.
We want to go home, but we're just here.
We get coupons and
It's a
discounts.
$30 cover charge. Okay.
Okay.
You want to live? You gotta pay the price.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna actually show another photo.
All right. Photos.
Wait, really quick. I want to say hello to my Uncle Kamaka. Kamaka. Everybody say hello. Uncle
Hello.
Kamaka.
Hello, Uncle Kamaka. What's
Shout out
up?
to
Sorry.
everyone in the chat. We appreciate you.
Okay, so here's my next picture here.
I'm excited to see. You look like Lucy there, by the way.
Yeah, right. It runs in the family.
Look at him, guapo.
The spiky hair. The spiky
Mhm.
hair.
Oh,
How much Cali mousse did that take?
He was in the same photo studio the same day
Yeah.
as DJ.
Oh shoot!
And that stupid pose.
The
Anyway.
best.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, Pac-Man, is that your good side? Is that the good
It's got to be my good side because it's
Fresh
very
Prince of
consistent.
Lumpia.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Lumpia.
Oh god! What was the AOL screen name? Come on, hit us with it.
You know
What was the
what?
screen
You know
name?
what my AOL screen name is for real?
What?
Crazeepacman.
Oh,
It
Damn.
never changed.
Okay.
It never
Damn,
changed.
on
I've had it
brand.
all the way since then. It was
wow.
not Pinoy Prince 84. No, it was not. I refuse. So
Why do
Oh,
we only
man.
want to wear vests?
I'm
man?
looking at your photo and I want to call your pager and hear your voicemail. I want to be like, I want to hear like, yo, you reached Crazy Pac-Man. I can't come on your phone right now, but hit me at the beep. You know what to do. Holla. Tender. I'm so tender.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
And it's not even like the actual song, it's just you singing. It's someone just singing that part.
You know what? If DJ, if you sang it, I'm down for it, man. I'm down for it. Let's go. Oh my god. Artist formerly known as Pansit. I love it. I love it. I love it. ASAP. It's A.
Gosh.
Oh no, A and app. A and app. There
I
you go.
remember when those vests came out, by the way.
Frickin'
Too.
Mhm.
I remember those vests and the
Yeah.
long sleeves. You got to pair it with the long sleeves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
man.
Shane. That's
Yeah,
I
yeah.
swear, we would have went to the
The
same high
hair.
school. Back
Yeah,
then.
that's what I was saying. I was like, dude, like we went to the same one. But yes,
DJ,
definitely.
No, I don't.
He almost has the same pose as DJ did in his picture.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But he had more knee though. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
more knee.
He had more
Had to
knee.
show off the J's. You know what I'm
He
saying?
does have to show up the J's because my J's were not good. Anyway, so this was in high school apparently. So you went from first grade to high school with those images. So it comes to the next question. Have I had, since I had a lot of free time and no responsibilities back then, what was your pastime? Okay, so besides the video games, right? Like I used to play a lot of basketball. Like I wanted to. That's another thing too. Backtracking to what I wanted to be when I grow up. Along the way, I wanted to be a basketball player because I like playing basketball. So I played basketball. I played with my friends. I played at the gym. You know, I was this baller, right? But it's baller life. You know, just ball every day. Just do math at school, play ball later. That's basically my free time there, and let's see, no responsibilities back then. Shoot, after that, I mean, other than that, just hang out with friends and chill with peoples from my high school peeps. You know, that's that's all I did. You know.
Freaking wallet-sized photo.
Yeah, you know,
Great.
ironically, I still have I still have copies. I still
Just
Yeah.
give
have
them
copies.
out.
I
I always
I
had copies
there was
too.
nobody to give it out. Like, okay, so
Exactly.
back
Especially
then,
if it's like
girls are
if you
easy
take
to give
photos.
away. Yeah, girls are. It's for women or young ladies.
Thank
They
you.
are able
Thank
to give them
you.
out quicker than guys do. Because guys, they
Thank
ask for
you.
it. Like girls, they don't ask for guys' pictures. Like they
Right,
don't
and
do
plus
that.
you're a
They don't
guy.
ever
You
do
don't.
that.
If you're a guy, you don't give
What?
another guy your
Yeah,
photo.
don't give
Yeah,
another
right.
guy a picture.
No guy wants another guy's
It
photo
goes
in his
to mom.
wallet.
It always goes to
Yeah,
It
mom,
it
goes
goes to
goes to
mom.
mom.
Yes, she's like,
and
yeah,
then
that's
she
a.
gives it to
And
the
then
girl
and
next
then
door.
and then you write on the back, "Have a
Hey, but
nice
she
summer."
moved. She moved. That's all. She moved. Yeah, she moved then, right? But yeah, exactly.
Oh
So like,
man.
other girls would give it to other girls, and then the girls would give it to other guys. But then who do guys give it to?
Mhm.
All right,
Like
all
who?
right.
Right.
I was like, dude, I
So
have like this much. Like, I have so many copies of my pictures. Like, I don't know what to do with it. So
If
like,
you want a copy of Crazy Pac-Man's high school photo, please message
Yeah.
MixTalkLive on Twitter
He'll
oh
and
my
sign it
god.
for
oh,
you.
Instagram.
that needs
He'll
to
No,
be a
sign
no,
it for
no,
you.
no. We'll
giveaway.
make it a.
We
That
will
needs
make
to
a
be a
keychain.
No, no. We
giveaway.
can make
We
it a
will have a
giveaway.
keychain version, a keychain version.
We'll make it a giveaway. You know,
We'll
just
make it
kind
a
of fair
Yes.
game.
giveaway.
Fair game.
Signed, please.
Signed.
Sign.
Yes.
Personalized with Crazy Pac-Man's number on it
He'll
in the
Yep.
authenticate
back.
it for you.
Yeah.
Page your
Yeah, I'll
number.
just write
Page
it.
your number.
I'm like, hey, dear
Limited,
so and so, sorry.
limited edition.
Now get this, guys. Like, okay, dear so and so, sorry for my sloppy writing. I hope you like this picture. I hope you keep it.
Have a nice
It's all
summer.
wallet size, dude. You can
All
only
I
write
see is
like 2 words.
okay. So every time you get like a letter or like a written note
It
and
says, "Why
or
me? Why
picture,
me?"
yeah, watch my future picture. Yes, why me? In
Dear Taylor
theaters in
Swift.
Dear
2030.
younger self.
Yeah, and every time you see like
Oh
something
my
written that
God.
says "sorry, so sloppy," SSS, like
Yeah,
oh
that's
god,
hilarious.
Yes.
Keep in
Sorry,
touch.
so
keep it
sloppy. Or sometimes
KIT.
girls would
Swag.
do like
Sealed
the
with a
big
kiss.
S,
Yeah,
right? The
Yeah.
big S, and then it'd
S.
be sorry,
So
so sloppy.
sloppy.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Right.
thought it was like the pointy S.
No, that's the
Yeah.
gangsta S.
Oh,
It's a
That's what
gangsta
the
S.
dudes would draw.
That's what
I
the
would
dudes
stay
would
away
draw.
from the. I
The
would
No,
stay
the
away from
Superman
the
S.
SSS.
No, the
Yeah,
dudes would draw the Dragon Ball Z. I mean, there's like a lot of guys who draw a lot of Dragon Ball Z. Like
Oh
That's
my
true.
gosh.
everybody
So
drawing Goku
funny.
back then, but yeah.
So
All
funny.
right. Well, we got about 30 minutes to
Oh,
go
we gotta rush
as
through
we're
this. Yeah.
rolling with more of the questions. So let's bring Pac-Man's question to some other people.
Mm.
Annie, let's go with you.
Oh, okay.
Were you popular in high school and amongst your peers? Like, who did you hang out with the most? And were you involved in school functions and stuff? We talked a little bit about that, but we
Yeah.
can keep
Okay, so
expand on it.
really quick, I'll try to make this quick. So, yes, I was one of the popular people. In fact, that group that you saw in the picture that we saw, the 12, we were
My
the
bad.
banner girls. We were like the elite and of the band and auxiliary units, right? So,
Wow.
and yes, so I among my peers, yes, I was popular. My
Wow.
kids hate me for that right now because they're like, "You're the mean girl," and I go, "No, I really wasn't the mean girl. I really wasn't. Like they were maybe, but I wasn't. I was not. I did not want to be known as the mean girl." Who I hung around with then, I hung around with my then boyfriend, who later became my husband, who was the starting quarterback. So I hung around with him, and if I didn't hang out with him, then I was hanging around with the other 11 girls. And then let me look. Which popular group or which group did you hang out with the most? If not the Banner Girls, then my boyfriend then. And what functions were you part of? I was part of the auxiliary unit. Again, we were the elite of the auxiliary units, and we did football teams. Sorry, football games. If we weren't at football games, we were always practicing. You always saw us in the back lots practicing, or we were at competitions, or we were at each other's houses for sleep night or sleepovers on Friday nights. So that's what I did. So after games, we would go to McDonald's and hang out, and pretty much kind of trash the place, kind of thing. So,
Was
but
that
I
all
do
four
what I
years
could.
of high school?
Oh, sorry, all 4 years. No, that was actually the last 2 years of my
Okay,
last.
junior, senior year.
Right. And
Nice.
then my first couple years, oh, I take that back. Or let me add to that. So if I wasn't part of the Banner Girls group, or my ex-boyfriend at the time, or boyfriend then at the time, I was doing musicals. So
Nice.
I was the leads in all of my musicals.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my route to performing arts or musical theater.
There you
And
go.
so I was either hanging out with the theater group, the Banner Girls, or my boyfriend then. So that
And
was me.
then, did your okay? Sorry.
That's
Did
it.
your school like? Did they have other like? Did they have like also like cheerleaders and
Hmm.
like a flag team? Like
Yeah,
were there, and was there like so? And I remember in my high school, they always had the cheerleaders and is they're I mean they're stereotypically popular, but then they also brought back the flag team, and like at that point everyone was like
yeah,
forget the cheerleaders, like the flag team is like way cooler. And so there was like this
yeah.
like weird dynamic of these different groups of girls doing these
Yeah,
things.
so part of the auxiliary units were a lot of things. The Banner Girls at the top, and I think the cheer and then song leaders were, in that order: cheer,
Ooh.
song leader, and then flaggies, small
Ah,
flags, small flaggies as we call them, um, and I want to say tall flags maybe, and then drill
tall
team.
flag.
So kind of in that order. So
Wow.
yeah, there was a whole like yeah, there was a whole thing. Yeah,
The small
it was
I remember at our
interesting.
rallies, like everyone would shout out the count whenever a flagger would
Yeah.
drop a
Oh,
flag.
No, that's
dang.
messed
Ouch.
up.
Sorry.
Dang, put him on
Ouch.
blast. Yeah, and it's so funny you should say that, because when we counted down during practices and whatnot, it was never the 1, 2, 3, 4. Ours was always like, we're in position 7, 2, 8, 2. Where in the world did we come up with 7, 2, 8, 2? I do not know. So,
Weird.
so even now, like we joke about it, like sometimes we poke fun at
Why?
with each other, and we just go 7. I don't know. It's just been a thing. So.
That's funny.
6505309.
All
That was
right,
me. Okay.
awesome. Thanks for sharing, Yanni. Let's bring the question over to Johnny freaking Rico.
Well, it just so happens I came across a yearbook. Oh, right. Let's share some
Ah.
memories, bulldog memories.
Oh
Just happened to
no.
be right here.
Just
He just
happened to
looks
be
at it every
right
so often.
here. You still have your yearbook? I
I,
don't know
I
where
just want to
mine
bring
is.
one thing up. Did
Me
you ever have
neither.
a friend who would sign your yearbook and they would go to their picture and cross out their picture and be like, I look ugly?
Oh.
And it's like, that's
Mm.
my freaking book. Why would you do that? Right?
Yeah.
I just
Right?
want to, point that
Uh,
out to that those people that do that. It's like it's not your book. Don't vandalize
Yeah,
other
Don't be
people's books.
vandalize
shy.
your own
yeah.
book.
Drop
If
their
you got a
name.
bad
You
pick,
can.
if you got a
Yeah.
bad pick, you got a bad pick. Okay,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, if
there's
it's a
seriously.
always
thing,
next year.
yeah, if it's a thing,
There's
Yeah.
like you
always
shouldn't
Just
have take the picture. Like,
yeah.
yeah. You
you
should
shouldn't
have
have took it.
prepared.
Yeah.
So, anyways, activities in school. I wouldn't say I was popular. I would say that I was well liked. In the
Wow.
eighth grade, I think I brought this up on one of our other podcasts. So in the eighth grade, it was one of my first girlfriends that I had in the eighth grade, and me and her we were like the power couple of this whole junior high,
Wow.
which was kind of weird, but that's just the way it was. Um, who did I hang out
Power
with?
couple.
I had friends everywhere. I had friends in the music department, in the orchestra department, football players were some of my friends, my very good friends, baseball players, a couple in wrestling. And then played tennis, so I had friends there. And the academic people, I was in a lot of the AP classes, so I had a lot of friends there. So I hung around everyone. Um,
Nice.
I'm just a likable person for the most part. I get along with pretty much everyone. There's always those two or three people everyone hates, and when you meet them, you know why.
Right?
Mm.
Was I involved in clubs? You know what? In my junior and senior year, I went to a new school, and one of my best friends, he would like a girl in this club, so we would join that club just so I could play wingman for my friend. And then he would like a girl in
Nice.
this other club, so
Mm.
we joined like five.
Organized.
Oh
Organized.
my god.
I was
Oh,
wingman,
nice.
and I was joining like 5 or 6 clubs for my friend.
Way to go.
Wow.
And you know what? Let me just say this right now: when you're in high school or you're in junior high, and you have a girl that really likes you, and you kind of like her, just get with her. Don't,
Just
you know what
get
I
with
mean?
her.
No,
Go
it's
that
true.
route.
People like men,
At least
especially
once,
young
right?
boys, are so picky, so freaking picky. And
Yeah,
it's like, you know what? She will treat you better than the girl that you desire to be with, and then she's just gonna like destroy your life and break your heart.
yeah. Try
I,
telling me that in high school.
I know, but
A lot
it's like
a lot
we
of
know
boys needed to
now.
hear that.
Now you're doing it right
We
now.
know now, but like when you try to tell that to a high schooler that's a cousin or a friend of the family's, they don't get it. They're all after that one girl that won't give
Mm,
them the time of day. It's just words of wise to any high
It's
schoolers out there.
true.
If a girl likes you, you like her, just
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 just ask
make
her
things
out.
easy on you,
Yeah,
Don't make
seriously.
life hard for you, okay? Life's already hard enough. You're going to find out. Anyways,
Johnny charges $100 an hour.
yeah, $100 an
For
hour,
life advice.
free
Life
life advice
advice.
right now.
Free life advice for $100 an hour. Yes.
Yeah. If you would
Right.
like the extended
Yes, and
consultation,
you can.
$75 discount with the promo code Johnnyfrickinrico.
Oh yeah, you could also donate to MixTalkLive, or you could
Mix talk
tip
like, yeah,
MixTalkLive.
by the
You'll all
way,
proceeds will go
subscribe,
to.
y'all.
You'll
And
uh,
Keeping the lights on.
you get a free Crazy Pac-Man
picture.
why
Signed photo.
First five people that sub today.
You get a signed
autograph
If
photo
you
by
like what you
autograph
Pac-Man.
see,
signed Crazy
if you do it
Pac-Man
in the
in the
first
post.
within the next 5 minutes, we'll throw in an audio for a voicemail. There you go.
From my
Okay.
radio,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Send it to
voice,
P.O. Box. No, just kidding.
snail
All
mail,
right.
all snail mail. We do it old school.
Let's
All right.
let's keep it
Here we
going.
go.
I'll answer this question really quick. For me, I was not popular at all. I was not very popular, except among the ladies, of course.
Uh-oh. And you know who
Nerd.
you are. And you know who you are. No, just kidding.
Oh my god.
Nerd.
I didn't. I was not very popular among my friend group either, and I think the reason being is because, well, it's a long story, but you know, I I feel like I got a lot of dudes to dislike me in high school. And I went to a
Wow.
high school with like gangs and stuff, and there were some dudes in like the gangs that didn't like me. And when some of the guys in the gangs don't like you, and they want to like, step to you during like the lunchtime era,
Time.
lunchtime period, like, you know, you're kind of like someone that you don't want to other people don't want to be around, because then they know that those dudes are going to start messing with them as well. Like for me, like they didn't like me because I was like, I'm not, you know, they're going to threaten me, I'm just going to like laugh in their face. They tell me they want some money or something like that, I'll be like, no, out of
No.
here, get out of here.
Oh
So
man.
they didn't like guys like me, that didn't show that didn't weren't intimidated by
Yeah.
them.
Well,
So yeah, and also
the,
I called the cops
yeah,
on
but
like some of the gangs sometimes.
here's the thing though. What makes them think that
Narc.
you had money? Like what?
Well,
What made them think you had money though? That's the thing.
Because of
uh,
the
Ask
vest that he
everybody
was
for
wearing.
money.
okay, long story
Yeah.
short, and this is
Like
just
I
a
ain't got
really quick
money.
story.
Tell us the story.
So
Drop names.
Mm.
Just kidding.
my dad, like I shared before, my dad is a pastor in the community.
Mm.
He was always I grew up in the church, and my dad was a pastor, still is a pastor. Um, and one of the guys in one of the gangs, and remember, we grew up in a ghetto city, so a lot of the people are very small, knew each other, and very like low income city. But one of the guys in the gang actually had like his parents were like lawyers, so he was like kind of wealthy, but he was also not a good dude. He would get caught up in like drugs and gang banging and stuff like that. And he was in a gang while at the same time we were in high school. We grew up together. Um, and his family uh, went to the church that my dad preached at. And so in his mind, because his family would give to the church that my dad preached at,
Mm-hmm.
he believed that my dad just pockets all this money. And so if I showed up at school, even though I had a job and I bought my own
Mm.
J's or something like that, if I showed up at school and anything, he
Mm.
thinks like, oh, my parents bought that for him or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
that's what he
yeah.
would think. And so he had some beef with me all the time, even though, like that was not how things work, trust me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but but yeah, so because he didn't like me, a lot of guys in his gang didn't like me too, and that's where a lot of the beef came from. So I was not a
Oh.
popular dude in high school, except among the ladies.
Uh,
Um,
oh my gosh.
well, I will say, according like I will also add to what Johnny said. Like there I told Rosaline this. Like there were some girls that like I knew back then, but I was never really interested in, um, because I felt like I was always attracted to the girls that like were dramatic.
Uh,
Like the ones that were always like sad girls all the time, and like always talking about their problems, because I felt like I was the dude that would like want to listen to girls with problems. And if it was a girl that wasn't like a sad girl who didn't have like issues, I would be like, oh, you're kind of boring then, you don't have much depth. That's what I used to think. I
Not enough
was
Yeah.
drama. Not enough drama.
oh
Yes,
my
I
goodness.
don't know why. If I could go back and tell my younger self, like,
That's true.
dude,
Yeah.
there's gonna be plenty of drama later in life. There's gonna be plenty of that.
That's true.
When you're young, don't be attracted to that type of stuff. Like,
The
just
superficial stuff. Yeah.
just yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say just go for the superficial stuff, but I would say like try to have try to find people that are just positive influences in your life, that you're just you have fun with, people that like you have a good time with, because growing up is much better than being grown up. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow. Look at you.
Words of
Preach.
wisdom.
Preach.
Whoa.
Preach.
Dear younger
yeah.
self.
Wow.
Dear
Dear
All
younger
younger
right.
me.
self. For
Mm-hmm.
Are
real.
you the last one to add to this topic?
Sure. I was okay. I was definitely not popular. I think I'm more like the middle tier, very middle tier, because there's the popular kids and then like the like what kids, and I was like in the middle. What was the other question? Uh, and what other things did I do? I was in like there was a social justice club. It was called Stand. I forgot what it stood for. But I forgot it was like an acronym. But I was like I was really into it. Like I liked the whole idea of like doing some kind of social justicey thing, and we would put on an event and we'd make flyers and I'd promote it on MySpace. Like I put that in the chat earlier. Like
MySpace.
I think that's why I liked doing like marketing and advertising, because it was creative, like doing, but then I got into like doing events and like um for my choir, my friend and I like planned a concert and we got all these local artists, local singers to come to our high school. And now like some of those local bands are a lot more popular now. So it's pretty interesting to just see. So I guess in that way for me, like in high school there were some opportunities to like find my interests and like build my skills with like events and design and promoting, um and not being popular but just kind of middle was able to make me like I could reach both sides of the spectrum of high school people. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Huh.
that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Okay.
I'm sticking to
And
it.
she's sticking to it.
Who
Sticking
else's
to it.
pictures did we not show?
Yeah, let's move on to the next picture.
All right, for sure.
Okay.
Excuse
All
me.
right, so we're gonna go and move on.
I want some more Pac-Man pictures.
No, no, that's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get,
Those
guys.
were
That's all
such
you're
a
gonna get.
For premium content.
I had to
That's
find a lot.
surprise.
I had to find those. It took time, so I was like, man, like I don't know where I put them, but long behold, I found them.
You said you had a stack this high of them. You couldn't give them away. You said because
Yeah,
you can't.
yeah, I couldn't give them away because like, who wants them? I'm like,
Yeah.
You give it to
Yeah.
your moms, and your moms be like,
well, I just gotta
Give
give
it
it to
to
my family. That's
everyone.
basically what I give it to, like my
yeah,
family, my cousin. That's
your
it.
moms just give it to everyone. That's
That's
the way it
all.
works. That's the only. That's
That's all.
That's the way of life. That's the
I
flow.
used to go. I used to go to the Hood Mall back
Yeah.
then,
Oh,
and hand it out to the ladies there.
like a
That's what I used
flyer.
to do.
OMG. Like a
You
I went
had
to
to do it
flyer.
like a
Richmond. I
flyer.
went to Hilltop
Hi,
Mall.
here,
I
here you
know.
go.
Yeah.
There is
There
no
you
other.
I wish I could do that. Man. See, the thing is, you have more confidence than I do. I just didn't.
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Kidding. She's not really doing that.
All right. So moving on, guys. We're gonna move on to Johnny. We're gonna show him his first picture. So here we go.
All right, let's do this.
He is all serious in his car. I guess he's focusing. I think he's at a
Okay,
stoplight or something. But
little
Wow, look at
backstory.
this.
I
yeah.
was maybe 20 at the time, and I worked for the
Sweet.
rental car place. So we rented a Crown Victoria to do a turnaround in Vegas, even though I worked the next day. So me and my
That's
best friend
hardcore.
Oh,
and my other
Wow.
friends, Storm and Norm, we all drove to Vegas in a Crown Vic. I don't know if you know what a Crown Victoria is. It looks just like a police
Police
car.
car?
yeah, the
Yeah.
cop
Yeah.
car.
So
The
people
OG cop
see
car.
it. They see my car behind them and they move out of the way thinking I'm a cop, but I'm not. And they
Oh,
see it's a bunch
yeah.
of young kids, doing bad stuff, and they're all pissed off.
Oh.
But
Johnny
yeah,
used
right,
it.
if you want to get to Vegas in a hurry, get a Crown Victoria. It'll get you. People's gonna think it's a cop car.
Dang.
Hey,
Yeah,
Johnny.
no
Quick
kidding.
question though. Of your
Yeah.
name, your friend's name is Storm and Norm.
Yeah. So me,
What was
Johnny,
your name?
um, Johnny Rico. Johnny
Oh.
Rico became my
Ah.
nickname
Okay.
because I worked at Starbucks and Starship Troopers just came out, and
Ah.
so
Okay. Okay.
we were right
We've
across the street
never we've
from the
never asked
theater.
this before.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
when you're working at Starbucks, you have a little Velcro thing you stick on the
Hmm.
register you're using,
Yeah.
and someone put Johnny Rico. So everyone started calling me Johnny Rico, and then I finally saw the movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see why they did that. So it just
Nice.
stuck. It's
Nice.
stuck.
Yeah.
So what was I gonna say? Anyway, that's our Vegas trip. It was
So you
awesome.
just did like a back
A
and forth
turnaround.
in like 24
Oh
hours?
yeah, it was a turnaround.
Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh,
So
to be in
we
the
were gonna
early
get a room,
20s
but
and
we
do
ended up
that.
sleeping in the car. So like, if you're
Ugh.
tired, go sleep in the car. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep
What
gambling.
now?
Huh? I'm gonna, at 20 years old, you could gamble?
Whoop,
Yes. Well,
whoop,
Oh.
we
whoop.
had we had one of those special
Oh.
special cards
Oh.
that let's not get
Special
into
It
the
cards.
was the Club Live.
let's
He was
not
part of Club Live.
yeah, club I had a club live in any
Membership.
casino 24/7
Do we have
with that
another
$5
photo?
cover charge.
Oh.
Yes, actually, yes, we do. We have one here. Go ahead and
Exposed. Seriously. It's
Yes, we were
How
21
old do
bad.
you
over
need to be
here,
to gamble over
illusions.
here? It's
21.
yes.
That's me at
It is 21.
graduation. I'm holding my favorite cat for a ball. But that's the day of my
Oh,
graduation from high school.
high school
And
graduation.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
baby. It looks like my high school. The green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had
oh,
green. I hate that color, but hey. Ah.
It's
Okay.
adorable.
All right.
Okay,
yeah.
so
It's 18, right? It's 18
Yeah,
to
to
gamble.
gamble. Yeah. And
Oh, my
21 to
bad.
drink.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But we weren't
Yes.
gambling though. We were doing we were doing,
You're doing things. Got
we
it.
were doing things.
Thanks.
It's okay. Club live forever.
Club.
Club Live.
Club live.
For a limited time.
Limited time. Tell you guys.
I cannot do those like over like 24-hour late night driving mission.
Yeah, that's too
No,
much. I
Uh,
love
no
road
more.
trips, but there
No,
has to be
thank you.
some stops
No.
in
it,
between.
Yeah, but when you're
you
young,
know
you have
what?
a lot of
Yeah.
energy. Everything
It's
sounds like
true.
a good idea too.
It's
Let's
true.
go to Vegas.
That's
Yeah.
Good
true.
idea.
Like
Everything
us
is a
when
good
we
idea.
like
Yeah.
us when we went to Tijuana and got
Yes.
Matt,
So
I see the Matt Dillon. I agree with you there, pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep.
A
True
little
that.
bit of that.
Go BB.
Yeah. All right.
BB John.
that
So
a little context, that cat I'm holding, my sister raised him and gave him to me as a kitten. And this cat could open
Oh.
doors. It would scare the hell out of me because
wow.
I'd get home. I know I'm the only one at the house. I'm
Oh my
upstairs.
gosh.
I close my door and I'm just relaxing, and I see the knob move. I'm like, what? And I'm grabbing like a baseball bat. I'm like, and the knob's moving more and more, and then the door opens up, and that cat walks in, and it's like meow.
Are you sure it was the cat? What if it was actually a
Oh, no,
ghost
no,
by
no.
then?
It was the cat. And then she told me
Mm,
later she trained him to open doors. All
Oh
kinds.
my
The
god.
swivel,
wow.
the ones with the long,
Wow.
the flat one.
Right.
And then if you locked it, if you found a way to lock it, I shoved my shoe under the door. He would stick his paw under trying to push it out of the way. This cat would not give up.
Hilarious.
Okay, let's get to my questions, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Well, let's throw this one out there already.
Okay.
Well, what are some of the so you have what are the following negative adjectives would best describe your younger self?
Negative adjectives to describe your younger
Oh,
self.
this is kind of
Let's get
revealing,
mean.
personal.
Let's
Picky,
get self-deprecating.
irresponsible, unfocused, careless, reckless, know-it-all, a procrastinator, self-centered, pessimistic. What else?
I mean, that
Wow.
covers it. That covers most of it. I don't know.
And yeah, would your younger self even listen? What do you say, Johnny?
The two you can pick more than one. You can pick all of them if you want. For me, it's picky and a procrastinator. I prided myself on being a procrastinator. I was the type of person that would be doing in second period, doing my homework for third period, and in third period doing my homework for fourth period, and then in fourth period going to class without my homework and winging a presentation, an oral presentation for the whole class. And I patted myself on the back like this is the way to do things. That's terrible.
Mm,
Um, let's see.
with that kid.
So definitely, I was a procrastinator, and I was very picky, and I think we kind of covered that before. If a girl likes you, you like her. Just don't make life hard on you. Just take the easy path. Don't go for the drama. It's gonna bite you in the end.
Oh
If
yeah.
I
Yes,
could,
I
okay, this is my
agree.
trick. If I was to go back in time and have a conversation with my younger self, would they even listen? What I would do actually is I would use the reverse psychology. I will tell my younger self everything I do not want them to do in hopes that my
Ooh.
rebellious spirit will, of course, do those things because
There
I
So do
know
you
how I
you
was back then.
go.
Johnny's
so would your
legacy.
younger self
So
like
I
read into the reverse psychology though and reverse the reverse psychology?
Oh my goodness.
no,
That's
he'd be
that's
too
deep.
busy thinking about, you know,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
So here's the thing. All right. So now that Johnny has his legacy laid out there's now a way actually of him to do that. So with this next picture, I'm going to show.
Negative adjectives to
That we're done
describe
with
your
the
younger
pictures.
self.
Oh, here we go.
Mm,
From
So
cat
that is
to
my first
baby.
kid. That's the day my life
Oh.
changed forever. That is my oldest kid,
Oh.
Andrew, who's bigger
How
than me
old were
now.
you?
Hi, Andrew.
I was probably 29 when I had my
Wow.
first kid, maybe
Oh.
30, maybe
Wow.
29. So I kind of
Oh.
waited. I wasn't like my parents. My parents had me and my sister when they were like 19. I
Wow.
waited a while. I waited until I graduated college. And that kid now is towers over me.
Yep.
Oh.
It's funny,
and
DJ, because DJ was talking about being in the ghetto and, gang members and people don't like him. I was trying to explain to my middle kid, Joshua, how w- gangs, a gang is a group of people, okay? Like
Yes.
very bad, and there were a lot of gangs me growing up in my neighborhood. And when I say a gang, I mean there are 6 people there waiting to beat the crap out of you.
Oh
And I
wow.
was explaining it to my kid about how it would be back in the day. I have a lot of friends in the football team, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, is everything cool?" And then the gangs would back down or whatever. But if they wanted to target you, they were gonna find you outside of school because
Yeah.
you had to walk home. They knew where you lived, so they would corner every route home.
True.
And I was
Dang.
telling that to my kid, and he's like, "Well, couldn't you call a teacher?" And I'm like, "No, you're like a mile away from school."
mhm.
It
and
was like all organized, okay?
and
But it's
Oh.
hard.
speaking of Joshua, there's a picture of Johnny with Joshua.
That's it.
Oh.
That is Joshua,
Oh.
my middle kid. At
Why are
that
you in a
event,
construction zone?
So I think Andrew was 4. No, he was 4 years old at that time. We went to Paris, California, and they had the Thomas the Tank
Oh
Engine.
heck yeah,
And
Ooh.
so
heck yeah,
my
Thomas the Tank
oldest
Engine.
Andrew was about 4, and Joshua was almost 1. And
Mhm.
Joshua doesn't remember that at all. But Andrew loved Thomas the Tank Engine. He
Yeah,
had the biggest smile
heck
on his
yeah.
face. Oh my gosh! And that's me holding Joshua.
Oh,
And you know what?
Oh,
sweet.
My dad makes fun of me because I took my dad with me too to help out. So it was my ex, my dad, Andrew, and I'm holding Joshua there. And they had those
oh.
bounce houses, and Andrew was having so much fun, he refused to leave the bounce house. And the people running it, they're like, "You need to get your kid out of there." And I'm like, "Come here, Andrew," and he would bounce to the other side. "Get over here now!" And he's just laughing at me bouncing. Like I had to crawl in there and drag him out. I would look so embarrassing. Okay, I had to drag him by the feet. He would not leave.
All right, you
He
God,
dragged
those
him.
embarrassed
bounce
me so
houses.
bad. It
Oh,
wouldn't be the
Oh,
last, but I just thought I'd bring that up.
oh.
That wonderful day in
Wonderful
Paris,
day.
California.
oh, BB.
All
Nice.
right. Cool. Let's keep the questions going. You guys good for maybe another 15 minutes?
Let's
I
do
just want
it.
to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
that we're
yeah.
all
I
good.
wanna
We're
I
good.
wanna hear the
Yeah.
negative adjectives.
Okay. All right. I'll go. I'll go next. While the memories were still fresh from when I was sharing too. I mean, I think that the negative adjectives based on the ones listed are. Uh, I think unfocused would be one thing, and then maybe like um a little pessimistic. I think not nothing really comes to mind. Nothing really stands out as far as why I would say that's how I was. I just think that um I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life at the time. I didn't know what college I wanted to go to. Um and a lot of my friends didn't either, so we all just kind of decided we'd just go to community college. And when you kind of do that, you just sort of, and you don't have any goals and you don't know what career you want to go down, what path you want to go down, you know, you kind of you get kind of like I don't know what the word is, stagnant. You hit a plateau
Oh.
in your
Mm-hmm.
personal growth. So um and if I could have had a conversation with my younger self, oh, would they even listened? I feel like my younger self would need to hear specifics, and
Huh.
and like and when I say that, it's like don't don't get don't get involved with that chick. Let me show you her Facebook and where she's at now.
And then young year you was like, "What's
Oh,
Facebook?
oh.
Yeah.
What
Don't
is
get
that?
involved with that.
What is that?"
Don't get involved
What's
with that chick.
MySpace?
She just messes with your mind for like a good 6 months, and you end up being um I don't know,
Yeah.
all the worse for it. That's I would need to like give my younger self specifics in order for them to listen to me. Anywho, how about you?
I mean, I think I was okay when I was younger. Negative, maybe a little too idealistic or like naive.
Yeah,
Naive,
Okay.
yeah,
but like, I
I
mean,
agree.
oh shit.
Having known your younger self, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well,
Naive is
yeah.
not on the list, Riz. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm going off
No.
script. But no, I was just pretty naive and idealistic. Not bad.
No, it's not a bad thing to be,
Um
I guess, in retrospect.
do I think my younger self would listen? I think so. I mean, you could go into the whole stuff of like, how does this work? Like, is this going to mess up the time and space continuum and the timeline of talking to our younger self, and like, would I believe that it's me or do we not know? Um, but it would be very interesting to talk to myself. I think my younger self would be receptive, honestly, because when I was younger, I did want like that kind of older sister figure in my life. Like there were some people that were kind
Mm.
of that for me, and like that's what I gravitated towards, and like I think that's what I wanted to be for other people too. So sure, little naive little girl that would learn. live get together. Do I pick somebody next or
Um,
go
I'll
ahead?
just keep
Yes,
pushing,
yes, yes.
moving it forward. Let's go to Annie.
Okay, so based on my something that my aunt said to me, and the neighborhood girls would say to me, they probably say that I was self-centered. um
Oh.
because as a performer, right, I'm doing musical theater, I was a banner girl. You kind of, then it was like bigger than life. So you're out there, and you have to, you can't be shy per se, to do theater or to do banners or whatever. And then it trickled over into my college life when I went to musical theater. So I pursued that. So a lot of people would mistake it, or maybe even just label me as self-centered, but that's just kind of comes with the territory, honestly. So,
Yeah.
and whether or not I would listen to myself then, probably not, because I was the type of person, I kind of still am today, and this is what I've discovered about myself, is that I'm a Cancer, right? By my birth,
Horoscope. Hmm.
yeah, horoscope, thank you. I'm a Cancer, and Cancers tend to kind of, bury their heads in the sand when called out. So you want to retract as the crab, a sign, that we are. We treat back into our shells and kind of hide out for a little bit until, well, coast is clear or whatever, then you come back out. And even to today, I sadly will do this to now, where I will have some mental breakdown and cancel all streams, right, for the week. These guys know, my
Mm.
mods know. I'll do that. I'll have a mental issue, or I'll have some sort of emotional breakdown where I'm like, I'm gonna go hide, and or what I consider, I'm gonna go be invisible and hide out for a little bit and come back when I feel safe. So yeah, I think that's always been my aunt used to call me when I was younger. She used to say, "You're so OA," which is overactive. You're so OA. And to this day, it kind of rings, very loud and clear in my head. So sometimes I have to kind of self monitor myself, or self
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah.
But
Self check.
yeah, but am I? No, because I think for what I like to do, which is here, Twitch and YouTube or whatever, for the nature of what I love, which is broadcasting, singing, you kind of have to be the person who you want to be able to make that,
Mhm.
to stand out, or to, you know, um, truly express yourself. So until you can express yourself, now today I would be like, oh, screw them. But then no, probably not. So no, yeah,
It is
that's
it is interesting how that's like changed because it's like I don't like you're saying you're like confident and like self-centered or like that you like to do these creative things like there's nothing wrong with that like
right.
if you have confidence in yourself and you like what you do and you like to be in front of the camera or whatever on the mic then that's great. And then also like I don't see anything wrong with if there's something that happens to like take a step back like
Sure.
that's what I mean we're trying to normalize like taking care of ourselves and our mental
Right.
health and like if that's what it comes down to then like I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
there's more respect for that. And I guess, and I mean, I guess that's even like another dear younger me thing too, is like,
Right.
you don't have to be doing all these things. Like, it's okay to, if
Right.
that's, I think that's something too, like, whatever is going on in your mind or whatever you're going through, like, it's, I don't know, it's okay.
It's
Like, you
okay.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
yeah,
yourself permission, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Exactly. Honestly, that is the God honest truth. Lately, before, when I was first streaming, I mean, it was streaming Twitch things, and you have to be on all the time, and
mm-hmm,
learn all the new music, and gosh, I gotta do a duet with these people, whatever. Then when it went away, it kind of made me step back a little bit, like, okay, well, maybe it was too frequent, or now I need to change, to a different direction, and how could I still be on stream, and what could I do. But yeah, there's times where you honestly just need to give yourself permission to go, on a hiatus, and that's not a
mm-hmm.
bad thing,
Hmm.
because if you don't go on a hiatus, if you don't self-care, then it could lead to more detrimental um, consequences or situations. And yeah, I think today in this day and age, it's important. But I also want to say this too, that let's say you do go in hiatus and you do retreat, you do that, right? Is it to me? It's important to have people come check on you, because when I see people, who are doing that, or who are in that mental state or emotional state where they're not, as vocal anymore, or lately, or they're not as active, let's say even in the server, I want to check up on them because I want to make sure they're okay. So I hope that every one of us does that for one another, because you have to know that somebody probably is hurting very, very silently, and maybe you do need to reach out, or you do need to check up on your, be big brother, big sister, check up on your friend, make sure they're okay,
Yeah.
make sure they're okay. So I would tell my younger self, don't worry about it. It's gonna get better. Life's gonna get better.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a different situation. You will never see these people again, which I don't. You know, except for my aunt. But yeah, so you know, that's that's the thing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Take
It's
care of one another.
it's crazy too. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there too, because like I remember back then they don't really advocate so much about mental health like now.
No,
Right.
yeah,
They
Yeah.
don't talk about like mental health back then, because if it was, I mean, may have been a lot better, or I would have kind of gotten by a lot better, because
Me too. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
because to me I thought it was just more of a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Mm.
Or I thought it was a coming of age thing.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
very
Hmm.
true. A lot of times have changed, and people need to recognize that with your brothers and sisters, with your friends. You got to recognize that when somebody's hurting, silently hurting, you know i- do that person a favor, yourself a favor too. What if something were to happen, you didn't check up on them when you wanted to initially? You kind of would have to live with that. So, and this has happened. I've had a musician friend, and he was my director for caroling when I was singing for Disney. Um, go through it. He had a mental breakdown. He had an emotional breakdown. Something happened, and he took his own life. He jumped off the parking lot structure at Disneyland, and nobody expected he
Yeah.
would do such a thing, because he was so full of life, and you just never know what someone's going through. So yes, I would tell my younger self, be cognizant of your own feelings, and so
Yeah.
what these people are spewing negative things at you, words and phrases. It doesn't matter, because they do not define your life,
Hmm.
and they shouldn't define your life.
Hmm.
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 Sorry, didn't mean to bring that down.
No,
No, no.
That's
I
okay.
mean,
this
this is the stuff that comes up when we talk about like our younger selves and things that we wish they would have known and we wish
yeah,
they
Right.
would have heard. And it's
because you
always
never
important
know. Yeah, you never know if you're just talking to your younger selves, or maybe you're talking to someone else's younger self.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, and
Yeah.
then there's the whole thing of like healing our inner
Hmm.
child, where like
Hmm.
like talking about these things now helps us. We have the perspective of being adults and like oh, like that happened and this caused this and we're like this because of this. So
Right.
it's still it's still like I think it's still important. It's hard. It
That's
hurts,
true.
but
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like what Riz says. Let's say you had a really bad childhood growing up. You didn't have a dad or you didn't have a mom. But when as an adult, if you have a son or a daughter, you can actually give them what you never had, and in some sense, it heals you as well.
hmm
Because the way it should have been for you, you can make it the way it should be for them. But it helps heal you as well.
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
So, and I know people that have done that, and they needed that healing too as an adult even. So
Yeah, and
Right.
I just also want to add too that like I'm a huge advocate for seeing actual like medical professionals and stuff like that for those that need it. As much as support groups are great, you know, it
Mhm.
really is important to if a lot of people on Twitch like will like be in someone's chat and try to like use that as as a way of like put like talking about their mental health struggles and stuff like that. And a lot of people on Twitch have to remind people like, your streamer, the streamers that you follow, they're not medical professionals, so they can give you advice,
Right.
but you really should seek advice from actual professionals
Right.
and get the help that you need. And I'm a huge advocate for that. I think it's great that we've been all chiming in on this topic. In the interest of time, I think like let's move on to Rizaline's like more positive
Yes. Yes.
topic to end,
Okay.
Yes,
right? The
please.
conversation.
I'm so bummed
Okay.
out.
Yes, we'll go ahead and we shall go ahead and move on. Okay.
Yeah, let's go to pictures
So
first.
each of us have dug into our pictures, and
And I
apparently
guess
Rislin's
okay,
popped up.
okay.
So
And while
here
that's
we go.
happening, I guess I will also say like I mean we can look back on like the way things were and like how we wish they would have been, but it's like I don't know. I hope that people have like a healthy perspective on their past or I mean and even if it wasn't that good, like I hope people do the work to like be okay with it. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this picture is of me when I think I must have been in like kindergarten. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like kindergarten. It's my school photo.
Look
It's
at that
probably like going to
uniform.
What is
school.
the lunch pail of? Is
Look at
that
the
peanuts,
pleats.
King?
I
What's
don't know what kind of lunch
Spicy?
pail. It had like bunnies on
Peanuts,
it.
you know,
That
keeping in the
lunchbox is
peanut.
pretty dope though, because I think it like clip. There's like a
Transform.
bottle and that like clips on. It was
Yes,
fancy. I
yes,
don't know. It was
yes.
dope.
It's like
But
a
I must have
tackle
been like
box.
5 or 6. Look at me with my like penny loafer, Sunday school looking shoes, and my skirt that's like way too long for some
I like
reason.
your straight
Yeah,
bangs.
Hell
Yeah.
it
yeah.
looks more like
You're
a
like,
tackle box, if anything.
Yeah, it's like a tackle box.
You just need
There's probably like
a fishing pole and
yeah,
you're good to go.
there's
let's
like
go
rice and
fishing.
stuff in
Yeah.
there, and then like the water, like the bottle makes the water like taste like plastic. I don't know.
Yeah,
And then
Ooh,
I
right. Oh
got
my
yeah,
goodness. I hate that.
yeah.
I got the
BPA.
the blouse is made in like the Philippines, and am I standing on a table? No, I'm probably on. Yeah, it's like the living room, my parents' house. I was like 5 or 6 with my little. Am I holding
Cool.
books too? I guess I'm holding books.
Yeah,
I
it looks
was
like you're
like,
Yeah,
holding a
you're
Folder,
folder.
holding a
little
folder.
I'm
folder.
like freaking excited to go to school. I did the full kindergarten shtick, but
Mhm.
no. But then for that, it was like they had an AM class and a PM class,
Oh
so
yeah.
we just did half a day.
Hmm.
Right.
So I, in a way, I also did just half of kindergarten because I was in the PM class. Did I have a
Oh.
question that
Oh,
I was
I, I,
asking too? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I miss the half days when you go to school and you
Right.
find out it's half day.
Oh,
You're gonna get
minimum
Oh
home at
day.
yeah,
1 o'clock.
heck
You're like,
yeah.
all right,
Minimum days. Yep.
party.
Not me. I was in school the
I'm all
whole
thinking what I'm gonna do with
freaking
my lunch money
time.
instead of buying
Uh,
lunch. Like I'm gonna go over there
I'm
and I'm
gonna
gonna pick some
save my lunch
candy and I'm
money.
gonna.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
me when I was a kid.
Can we go? Let's just keep going with the photos, and then we'll do the
Oh,
questions
okay, that's
afterwards. So, what's
fine.
the next photo, Pac-Man?
okay, so there's her in grade school, and then let's see. Here's this one.
I miss that couch. I like that
That
couch.
art
I miss
piece
the
behind her
couch.
is still at
It
her
really
dad's
is.
house, by the way.
Wow,
Mhm.
really? That's pretty awesome. Okay. Look at
Oh
you.
yes. Oh heck yeah. So this is me when I'm probably like 13.
Wait, how many friendship
Still,
bracelets do you have on?
I know. I don't even know. I was
Ah,
like rocking the multiple bracelets, rocking the bangs again for some reason.
Is this your wannabe rocker phase?
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
I call it the wannabe rocker phase because like I didn't have the resources to like go full rocker. Like I didn't
Yeah.
go to Hot Topic. Like I went to like Ross. And literally this picture is like the parking lot of our church. So I was about that life. And like I'm not gonna like do like heavy eyeliner and like black clothes. So I was like it was like adjacent and like
Well,
watered
but the
down.
the rocker era back then was like pop, like
Yeah,
punk
that's
rock,
true.
like Simple Plan, like Good
Yeah,
Charlotte, right? Like
that's true. But this was in the height of like like naive and like romanticizing and like oh the guy I like I'm gonna be with him like forever, like I'm gonna go to all the dances and like I had like my friends and like I had my friends from like church and then like there was like a group of girls in like eighth grade I was cool with like oh and then like everything just went to I'm just kidding. But I with my thick eyebrows and my like thick mustache and some acne. But ugh, that's a child. And like it was like a Live Strong bracelet and like a watch from like Walmart. Oh God, why did I keep and like I keep saying like I don't like bangs, like,
Yeah.
but I end up just having bangs throughout
Yeah.
my life.
That's
I don't
funny.
understand. Ugh, child, you are gonna get hurt so much. It's okay. You're okay. You're fine.
I
You're fine.
think I think well I think you ended up in a pretty good space.
I did. It's okay. I don't know.
Well,
I
here's
think so.
your questions.
Okay.
What did you think your older self would be like,
Oh
and
yeah.
what's something about now you that younger you would be proud of?
Okay, so yeah, we're
These are
reversing it.
positive things.
We're like younger me, like
Come on.
for into the future. Can you repeat it again?
What did younger you think older you would be like?
Okay.
And what's something about the now you that younger you would be proud of?
Okay. I'm trying to remember my eighth grade PowerPoint and where I wanted to go to art school in the city. I don't know. I probably just wanted to be like a creative person. Where's the and I'm I keep blanking out on the question. I'm
What's
so
something about
sorry.
now you that younger you would be
Okay,
proud
now
of?
me is like pretty cool. Like sometimes my hair and my makeup are on point and like I
Yay.
look good sometimes. And that's okay. And I think I mean it feels nice to like just be in a career that's fairly stable and
I got it. Just keep going.
okay. Um I don't know. I didn't. So the thing with me is like, I kind of wish that I had planned stuff out more with like college and like career. But
Mm.
then, and I guess that would be my thing with my younger self, to my younger self. But also like overall, like it's okay. It's not. I'm okay with how long it took me a minute to get into a field that I liked, and I wanted to be cool. I wanted when I was young, I wanted to be like a cool person with like that looked cool and was like into like cool things. Um Hello Kitty Senpai is in the chat and that's my brother. So he witnessed those years firsthand. Um but
uh,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's we still go through our stuff, but I think overall is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how I've turned out so far. I would but I will say though when I look at these pictures when I was younger and it's like, I thought I was fat back then, but it's like I wasn't as fat as I thought I was.
Relatable. That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Like I
yeah.
thought that I was chubby, like a bit.
I totally thought I was fat in this
Well,
like back then. It's like, no, you're not.
and you look at old photos and you're like,
Oh,
man, I wish I appreciated myself more,
Hmm.
right.
or the time that I was in. Right? Let's let me just add to keep going with that question. So, younger, I feel like younger me expected me, like older me, to be way more like uh fancy,
Mm.
intellectual,
Mm.
like somebody who like reads books while they walk on the beach. with their khakis rolled up to their their knees, and then with a like a white button up, just kind of blowing in the wind. Like that's the type of imagery that I expected an older version of me would be. Um, and I guess I always thought, and here's something funny. I always thought that like I would feel very trapped if I were to like be married. Like I
Mm.
always thought that like I would like feel like my independence would be gone, and I wouldn't have any time to myself anymore.
But you do kind of feel like that.
No, I don't. No, well, okay, wait a minute now.
Oh.
Well, that's the
Oh.
Backfire.
no. Well, okay, maybe, but if I had, but if I could talk to my younger self, I'd be like, you know what, like it.
It's not that bad.
I feel very fortunate to be married and have a supporting wife who gives me space if I need it. You know what I mean? It gives me some independence if I need it. So
Okay.
Huh.
Nice save.
wow,
Mhm.
Nice
that
save.
Good
okay, fine.
recovery. Yeah.
Good
Wow.
recovery.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Kidding.
But what was the other part of the
Here, it's on
question
the
was
thing.
What would you be proud
what's
of?
something about now you the younger me would be proud of? That I'm doing a lot. I pursue a lot of stuff on the side that like I'm
Yeah.
not just about my life, like my career. You know what I mean? Like I do things like Twitch
Right.
and music on the side, and I do other things that like Fam Bam, and I still game. I think younger me probably believed my mom when I would say like, that's when she would say like that's just things that kids do, and you're gonna grow out of that eventually. So you should stop wasting time on video games.
Video. Video
On
games.
Nintendo, always Nintendoing. You
Nintendo.
know? Yeah, yeah. I'm glad. I'm sure my younger me would be proud that I'm still a gamer.
Nice.
And let's move it on to Crazy Fuckboy.
Okay, all right. So here we go. Since I wasn't able to get Johnny's part of the questions, this is actually perfect. I'm actually gonna mix it in. Um, okay. So what did I think my older self would be like? Okay, so first off, back then, I feel I was a picky person and a procrastinator. But the reason why I say I was picky is because um I was really undecisive with things. Like I was undecisive with like what I wanted to do. And I just take classes, I'm just more in the present. I was more of a kid that was more in the present, like trying to do what I got to do, and then hopefully whatever comes out in the present comes, becomes a future, whatever comes out of it. I never looked far into the future. I mean, I see it, but I never made it become a big picture to me.
Mm.
So, and a procrastinator, yeah, pretty much like I do things last minute, like a lot. Like I've taken like I've done assignments where like I had to stay up like all day or even 2 days, like straight with no sleep. A little bit during college, I had to do that too. Um, uh, let's see. So that being said, my older self, I thought I would be just that guy who would become an engineer, and like
Mm.
it's just something that I ought to do. Like, just get a good job. It's just straight out general. Like, okay, become an engineer, get a job, get a house, get a nice house, and everything comes with it.
Yeah.
Um, something about now that your younger you would be proud of. I would say back then, if my younger me would see me now, he'd be very proud, only because he'd feel that I made a decision. I was more decisive with what I wanted to do, and I was more in line with what I was able to do, if anything. But it's ironic because even until now, like I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I'm not doing exactly what I want to do. I specialize in it, but it's just not what I'm
Right.
doing. See,
For
so And now going back, now if I were to tell this guy, if I had a conversation with my younger self, I'm pretty much sure I would be a sponge. I was more if I had somebody who'd talk to me back then, other than my dad. I mean, or just somebody who who would relate to me more. Like
Mm.
I would listen. I'd be a sponge. And if I were to tell my younger self something, I would tell him, you know what, you're doing okay. You know, you are doing all right. Just keep doing what you got to do, and stop doing things last minute. that's that's all I would tell him. You know,
Yeah,
because
back then. No,
it
just kidding.
it honestly, it's something that small would actually make a difference, because like that means you know what you're gonna do. You want to get it done right away, other than just having to do it just to do it. You know, and yeah, that I think that's what I think what my younger self would be proud of is just the fact that I was able to do what I got to do. It's just I wasn't very like decisive on it. Like it's just it happens. It's just not there yet. You know, it's semi there, somewhat there, but not there. Just a little more left to go. So, and also the fact, my younger self would know what my track record with my relationships are. I mean, he'd be pretty impressive that he even had relationships afterwards. So that would be impressive, because that kid would not even realize that, and yeah, so yeah,
Mm. Well, okay, let
okay,
me jump in if you don't mind. Okay.
yeah, go ahead,
So,
Annie.
okay, what did younger me think I would be or would be like today? Oh, I think younger me had a fantasy that I would be, successful singer, had a husband, kids, white picket fence, house, all that, right? Everything would be,
2.5 too.
yeah, right? Everything would be copacetic, and I would be like, throwing parties every weekend. Come on over, totally took a different path. Um, so yeah, it's a whole thing. There's life that happened in between. And, but on that note, what would my younger self be proud of today? Well, that I didn't let any of that deter me. I mean, it was tough. It was absolutely 100% tough. My health went to heck, but now with a team of doctors, I'm able to kind of get back on the road to being healthy again. Um, but I also think my younger self would be proud of the quote unquote, I guess, what part of I guess the empire that I have now, and it's not a lot. By empire I mean I built things from the ground up. I did my YouTube channel, I did my podcast, and now two more podcasts, Twitch, whatever, all the things that I've kind of built from the ground zero. I can say I was 100% proud of. I couldn't do that. I didn't have a voice a lot of times in my marriage because I was stifled and, silenced so much. I had to be a certain kind of wife to then husband, and I didn't live up to those expectations, obviously. So, enough was enough, and I had to just say, get out. For me to get out. So I would be young. I would be proud of the final step that I took to get out of a tumultuous, life and tumultuous marriage, and build the empire that I have. Monetarily, it's nothing, like zero. I have $0, but I have all the treasures in the world because I have you guys. I have the community that I have. I have the podcast, the Twitch. Everything that I have here is absolutely what I think I've always wanted in my life, and I'm very proud of taking that step and finally just saying, see ya, goodbye. So you never want to put yourself in a situation where you would never be able to get out and to begin with. And if you do find yourself in that kind of situation, you just have to, you know, empower yourself and start finding ways to, get out of situations like those. And I think it took, 18 years of my marriage to finally just say enough was enough and make the move. And I'm glad I did. So I'm very, very proud of where, I mean, I had a saying a long time ago, you have to know where you're going. In order to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. And I knew
Mhm.
exactly where I came from. So I knew I needed to make a change, and I finally did. And I'm very proud of myself for that.
Mm,
Proud
we're
of you.
proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Let's bring it over to Johnny now.
What do I think my older self would be like? To be honest, my younger self had no. My younger self believed Prince in that at the year 2000, party's over, we're all gonna die. No, you gotta understand. I grew up in the
Y2K,
80s
bruh. For
where,
real.
yeah, Y2K.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 1980s and stuff
You
where
worked
it
in
was like
computers.
nuclear war could happen any minute,
It's
right?
true.
Oh
Russia
my
just
God.
waiting to press that button. Nostradamus had the prediction we'd all be dead before 1999. So like I didn't think my younger me didn't think I'd live past 2000. And then it happened and it's like now what?
Nah.
Shoot, right? So
You're
I guess I got to
so
get a real job now. I got to go back to school.
so wait. So when you're your younger self, you were a conspiracy theorist, basically,
He still
No, it
is,
just
bruh.
or
no,
you just
it
became
was
it.
a real thing. It
Is
was
it?
like no, it was
Yeah,
a
it
real
was.
thing. It was,
Yeah.
it was Prince. Thanks, Prince,
Yeah.
Party like it's
And
1999.
yeah, so I was kind of crazy. I really did party like it's 1999. Ask my
Nice.
friends.
Nice.
But then
That's
it
cool.
happened and it's like, oh crap, I gotta do something. I gotta actually do something. So
And you did.
but younger me, I didn't think I'd ever have kids because
Oh, interesting.
I no, it's like why? I'm like the kind of
Why?
person that even when I was married, my sister-in-law had a daughter and a son, and when they would give the the nephew or niece to me, I would put him in a pillow because I didn't know how to hold it. I was afraid I'd break its neck. It's
Like,
like, and
Yeah.
then they would put two pillows because they're afraid I was going to break its neck.
Oh my
So like
goodness.
me having a kid, it's like that's some fantasy land crap, right?
that puts some new context to your old pictures.
Yeah, there you
You're
Yes.
like,
go.
what do I do with
So
this?
no, eventually I figured out how to hold
Get
the
them
kid without
off.
breaking their neck, But I think that's one of the things that younger me would be proud of. That I have three beautiful, well-adjusted, smart, intelligent boys
Mhm.
that
Nice.
are good people.
Yeah.
Give
So
yourself
that's
a hand.
amazing to me.
Yes.
My grandpa always wanted me to have grandkids. He always wanted grandkids, and it's he
Oh.
got desperate at one point, and now I have three. So it's like, there you go,
There you go.
there you go,
He got
three. The
desperate. What does that
trifecta.
mean?
Oh, you don't want to know what he would tell me.
Oh,
Okay.
You don't even want to
That's
know.
another
It's mixed
story.
talk after hours.
Yeah, and mixed talk, Adult Swim,
Yeah.
Adult Dip.
Coming soon,
I'm
guys.
down.
Coming soon.
I'm down. I'm down.
In the
Special
works.
part. That's the next episode, actually, y'all.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I
saying.
said. Oh my
Adult
god.
Swim.
Midnight with mixed talk. How's that?
Oh my god.
Nothing saved. Everything goes out.
Mixed talk
We'll
after
have
dark.
we'll have a few shots.
No question is safe. There you go.
Yo.
You
All
leave your
right.
inhibitions at the door. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
It's gonna be called Club Live.
There you
Club
go.
Mix Live. Club Mix Talk Live. How's that?
We don't know what we're doing. We didn't
I
want to.
don't
We
know.
just want to go home.
Club Live. Get
I'm
over
sorry.
that.
I just think it's
Get
really
over that.
funny.
Club Live.
I love
Club
it.
Live.
I
Club
love it,
Dead.
guys. I
What's
love
Club
it.
Dead?
We're gonna.
Dead Club.
It was. It was just might as well be Club Dead. I actually
We
went
all
in
know
one
how to
time. There was
read,
nobody
so.
there.
House of the
I was like, they're
Live.
supposed to have. They were supposed to meet up here.
House of the Live.
This was after school. Okay, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like I
All
should have
right.
stayed home.
Well, that's all the
Yeah.
panelists, right? Everyone answered that last question.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Pac-Man, if you don't mind, if you could start looking for somebody to raid,
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna uh,
I'm on it.
we're
I
gonna close. But
yeah,
I
with
think Club
that,
Live is streaming right now. Club Live.
totally.
So stupid.
that should be our mixed talk Discord. That's what it's called, Club Live.
Totally true. That's
There's
so
never
funny.
anybody there either.
Thank you again to Rizaline
You're
Annie,
welcome.
Johnny freaking Rico, Crazy Pac-Man. We have this. We are Mixed Talk Live, y'all. So it's always a great time to hear about your experiences as well in chat. Thank you for bearing with us as we went through a lot of our topics and experiences
Yes.
today. I hope you I hope we all learned something today. So
Yeah,
thank you to all of our viewers.
Oh my god.
We're gonna pass along the mixed talk vibes in a second, of course. But let's go ahead and have some closing plugs. I'll go ahead and start. Again, for those that don't know me, my name is DJB. You can find me at twitch.tv/DJB underscore remix. I am currently on a hiatus, but I do want to come back very soon. I have a lot planned in the pipe. Twitch.tv/DJB underscore remix. And don't forget, Fam Bam is coming back
Oh,
too.
wrong
Fam
way.
Bam
Sorry.
7 is on the horizon. Keep an eye out for that. Go to at Fam Bam League at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. So be sure to add that. All right, Rosaline.
You can find me. Yeah. RizalineB is my Twitch name. RizalineB underscore is my Instagram. My Twitter is called Half Conformist. Go to my Twitter. It's fun over there. Half Conformist. It's random. Uh yeah. I don't and then I do the mid card podcast with DJB and Ray Next Door and some other cool peeps. Um is that's all I do. And I'll just be in like Fam Bam or like DJB's stream or
Mm-hmm.
thank
Yeah,
you.
cool. Eddie?
Okay, so I think if you just go to, where is it? Right there down at the bottom somewhere. I don't know where mine is, but I have a link tree. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'll go grab it. Anyways, you can find me here on Twitch. You can find me here. I'll just grab it right now. You can find me on Twitch. You can find me mostly in my Discord. Those of y'all that know me, that
It's
I'm in my
cracking in that Discord.
I'm in Discord. I mean, like daily, on the daily, like 24 hours, pretty much. So come join us in my Discord. Also, we're if you need the Discord link, you got to hit up one of my mods to be able to do that because we're making it private now. Just kidding.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Just
uh,
verify yourselves.
just verify yourselves. I will be hopefully doing more podcasting with the AnnieTalksShow, so look out for that. And I don't know, we may revive our other podcast, Girl Talk. So that may be coming up pretty soon. So Rizaline and I will be doing some, um, maybe some brainstorming for the near future. So that's kind of
Boom.
it for me. So
Cool. Johnny.
So on my Twitch channel, I have been streaming for a little while, but that's gonna change because we just experienced the Bigfoot game. So me and my three boys are gonna take Bigfoot down once again. He's
Nice.
up against the ropes. We're coming for you, Bigfoot. We're
oh
coming for you.
God, here we go.
No, but it's a
We're
lot of
coming for
fun.
you.
Check it out.
For
It has four
you.
four different maps. I think there's a fourth map coming out. But we wanted to, figure out how to play the game because we would just make a fool out of ourselves by streaming it straight away. And we're kind of competent now. It's always down to the rope to the last life bar, but we beat them. So we feel confident to start streaming it. So Bigfoot, the game, Johnny freaking Rico
Oh
on
goodness.
Twitch.
Nice.
And last but
Kev.
not least, Crazy Pac-Man.
Hey guys, so you guys catch me on my Twitch channel, http://twitch.tv/crazypacman. I'll be taking on some retro games, even some current games. I am currently trying to finish up The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, right before the Tears of the Kingdom comes out on the 12th of May. Um, but yeah, I haven't been getting on seldomly, but I've been getting on seldomly, but I'll try to get on right before the release of the game. If you guys want to check out my updates too on whatever I'm doing, just check me out on my Twitter at twitter.com/_ crazy pacman _ well, no, underscore crazy pacman _
Awesome. Whew. All right. Well, that's been us for today. Thanks again, everybody, for joining.
Okay.
And are we ready to raid?
Yeah, I got
Follow
someone in
DJ
mind.
too. I'm sorry, DJ. I said DJ. Okay. All right. I'm good. Sorry. Go.
So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go and raid Squeak Queen.
Oh, snap.
Nice.
Let's go.
All right, y'all. Please be sure to copy that raid call in chat and show some love to none other than our good friend Squee Queen.
Bye, you guys. I had fun.
Beep, beep, boop.